As I always only love is you. With you. That make it up on and fly. Oh, I'll remember, but you're gonna die. Hey, come on over. You don't know how. If you're gonna make it all, if this is your fault. I call my ears and feeling broken, said I died. I'm making up. Oh, you got out the sea, falling down, make it down. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up, bro?
Word to you. I can barely hear you. You sound very distant. You sound like you're 100 feet away from the micrófono. ¿Y qué va?
Yeah, what is up, my bro?
Ah, dude, that's so much better.
Yes.
The stream has started. Well, just living the dream, living the stream dream. Besides the fact that my whole setup has gone awry somehow. It's not working the way it should, but this is what happens when you get fancy. You get all this fancy stuff. You know, what can you do?
The more stuff, the more complicated life gets, brother.
Yes, I've heard the old adage, "Mo money, mo problems." They used to say that at Oxford.
Yes, I think that I can put this stuff here and just wear my headphones.
Let me guess, Elden Ring.
Yes.
Ah, the Ring of Eld. Very nice. Well, there were some things I wanted to share. If I can get those up on the screen.
I have no idea why some people would shun technology.
Well,
It's a big nerd. This is great.
as a nerd, speaking as a nerd, in my nerdliness.
Hey, I found that soda that I used to
Bundaberg.
drink in Brooklyn.
Oh, that one. It is. The crunching is super loud.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'll just let it dissolve in my mouth.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Uh, but yeah, so let me see.
So is this like Truman Show, Chapter
It's
1?
basically this is what is
Well,
life like?
life is a new beginning, bro. Oh,
I heard an awoo,
yeah.
the gentlest awoo.
No, it's not very gentle. It's like attacking me and wants to destroy me with a back. Evil wolf. So chapter 1 of the age of transmission for the bonsai. Okay, so bonsai pact. Is that like the name of the podcast?
Yes, it takes its name from an agreement to do as the bonsai do, to
Grow.
yeah, to grow, but to keep it a little contained. You know, not to get too big for our pots.
Hey, actually about bonsais, I have one, and there's like this part that's just like dead. It refuses to like come back. You think I should just like trim it and it will grow back, or should I just like leave it alone and the years will do its thing? It's kind of sad. I used to take care of it a lot, and then one day, poof, I didn't take care of it because I was going through some shit, and then I came back to it, and a part of it was dry. and that was very sad because I had been taking care of it for like a long time, years, and like one time that I didn't like, watch out for it,
That's
boom.
all it takes. It's all it takes is
Yeah,
once.
yeah, man, that was kind of sad. Well, not kind of. It was pretty sad.
Yes, I lost two bonsai myself. The first one,
Do they dry
uh,
too?
uh, yeah, yeah. There was it. Well, this one was overwatered. Uh, a roommate, a housemate, uh, gave it a little extra, and it got moldy, and it got all
Um,
these bugs in it, and from there it just
eh,
couldn't.
Actually, this is a great angle for the stream forever. Like Ollie, like messing around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We both have a kind of similar
I'm gonna
yellow
be on this stream for a
background.
long time. Like I think that I think that like you should definitely promote it like as something like it's just like a guy from Seattle doing stuff, right?
Yes,
And there could be
yes,
multiple people doing stuff, and you could like we could all be talking, like doing our stuff, right?
that's the idea. Is sharing whatever's going on, getting uh, getting advice if you need it.
Advice? No. Que va, weón. This isn't like an advice channel. It's like real. Like everybody who's like giving advice, it's like, oh, I know how you can make your life better. But can you? Because like you have no idea what the person is going through.
This
So
one
like
weird trick will give
it's
you
like a lot of it,
$20 million.
a lot of assumptions. Like a lot of assumption. It's highly dangerous. There's people on YouTube and everywhere that try to help people. Stay away from that Nikuis.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, I ain't trying to help nobody. I ain't trying to
Nikuis.
help nobody.
No, help people, but like, not like,
Well,
say Gwyneth Paltrow.
oh yeah, no, that I mean that's the ideal way of helping somebody is selling them candles that smell like your
Yeah, yeah.
privates. It's
Gwyn.
it's key. It's very key. Once we're about to be joined by Matthew. Once he
Hello,
gets
Matthew.
everything, once he gets everything set up,
Matthew
and
Bafus.
he gives the high sign. Oh, there it is, Matthew. Matthew.
Matthew Richardson.
Oh, can you hear me?
Matthew Monasticus.
Matthew
Yes,
Menas.
Matthias Monasticus. That is who is present with us today.
Caius Monasticus.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get these bitches working. He's like the wind.
What are you
Hi.
up to this evening?
He's like the wind. Let me
She's like the
AirPod.
wind.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
AirPods. Yeah,
To
don't
my
even tell me
tree,
about. Don't talk to me about
I hear
AirPods.
the
Like,
breath on my
it's just.
face. A body close to me. He's
I can't look in
like
her
the
eyes.
wind. You know everything about it all. What the fuck's up here? Let me hold these down. Maybe I need to push them on. Oh,
No, the black screen is good. It's better that way
Oh.
actually.
you don't.
Better production value.
There we go. Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
There we go.
The-
All right, I'm back.
the
Who's that?
Technical support.
Who's that? Who's
La
that
cabra que
motherfucker?
fuma?
Oh, what up? The long hair. Look at that
Hey,
guy.
man.
Is that cousin It? Fucking playing video games? I love it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Yes.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, you gotta
This
go.
is the first episode of a very successful gathering of people doing stuff. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Very
Come
successful.
on. I'm taking the dog on a walk, so hopefully I'll have reception.
You're taking the dog. If you know, we could always
I'll mute
kick
it.
you out, time you out of
I'll mute it
the
if it gets
boot
windy
it
or
so
whatever.
that you get banned. You're
Yeah, but
banned.
Don't fucking
That's it.
that's
boot
You're
me, man.
banned.
interesting.
Don't fucking
Like,
boot me, all right? That's it. Okay. I'll be like the wind, but not windy. It won't
This
be
is
windy.
this is a good angle, I think, as well. No,
Brandon,
yes,
you
I
like
like.
this?
I'm loving it. Yeah,
Teabag, baby, teabag,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's like the wind.
POV, you're playing Halo for the first time.
Okay. All right. So, shit. This fucking. I need to put a belt on. These pants are gonna fall down.
Yeah,
Oh,
get a
man.
belt. JC
Can't
Penney.
look at my eyes. My pants are falling down. Oh well. Oh well, dude.
Just
So
a fool to
welcome.
believe his
So
pants
wait,
fit
who are you in the middle? I'm sorry, I'm blind.
Me? I am Nick's friend from South America, and I'm playing Elden Ring and drinking some lemon soda.
Wait. I'm gonna be transitioning out of the Wi-Fi, so hold on.
All right. Well, while you're transitioning, we will welcome Alex. Holding on.
Wow, he really went all in with this transmission, huh, Nick? You really went all in, man. All
There
in,
he
man.
is.
Hello,
There he
hello.
is. Hello.
Oh, the brotherhood
Yes.
of
It
space
begins.
and time. Good to see
There we
you, my
go.
friend. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. How long has it been? It's been months, many months.
Many moons, many moons.
Yes.
Maybe a pandemic or two.
Yes. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, does the monkeypox count as another pandemic?
Oof. That was nasty, no?
Yeah.
I saw a guy
Very
today.
nasty.
Like the symptoms of the guy was like a time lapse. Wow, dude.
What happened?
Like it was in his mouth. Like it started in a week. Like it was a progression. It was like some images on Reddit. That was pretty bad. Like you do not want to get that.
Well, I don't have anything to worry about because I'm not doing what you got to do to get the monkeypox.
No,
So
yes, I
think
know.
I'm all right.
I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, like in general, like
An ounce
generalizing
of
the
prevention.
yeah, like just you don't want it. Period.
No.
Looks bad.
Juan,
Hello,
how are you
Alex.
doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm playing Elden Ring and I'm drinking lemon soda. It's a good day, man.
Juan.
Okay. Okay.
Juan. Okay, now I know. Juan. Nice to meet
Yes.
you. I'm Matthew.
Oh,
Because I
it's
couldn't
good. It's good to
understand
meet
you because I left my house and the Wi-Fi cracked. So
Oh,
I'm back on cellular outside with this gorgeous blue sky. Look at the fuck out of this motherfucker, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, that's very nice.
This isn't a blue screen, guys. This is life.
Eso,
This is real life.
the real
You
sky.
You can't even get rid of those right angles. Like everywhere. Everywhere lines. Even outside.
I can get I'm looking for wrong angles, bro. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
Juan,
Yeah, you can be pretty acute.
Yeah. I'm obtuse, motherfucker.
are you still playing analog electronic music, Juan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped for a while, but because like me and Nick are starting this new project, so yeah, sure. It's like a hobby of mine mostly, so yeah, it's something
Are you
that I do
playing
on
live?
occasion.
Are you performing live?
Yeah, I was going to, but like the thing is that here you have to organize things very well because there's not really like I don't know, people want to go out and listen to reggaeton, and get drunk. So like
Yeah.
if they want to listen to electronic music, they want to go to a techno party and get drunk or do drugs, and like if you want to go and do something, take I don't know, like equipment is usually expensive, like these samplers and drum machines. So it's like I don't know. You got to organize like stuff well. So like, I just stopped thinking about that for a while because like I had personal stuff going on. But like, I am definitely gonna do it again. I like it, but I'm back to playing more guitar, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's good to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah. I'm playing daily, and it's good. It's good. I really enjoy playing guitar.
Are
I missed
you
it.
posting your music online anywhere?
N-
Are you on Spotify? Are you updating your work at
Uh,
anywhere?
no, actually, I stopped doing that. Like, but I'm gonna start again. Like with the new, like Nick has this idea for YouTube. It's pretty cool. Like long format videos, and it's like more. It
Oh
actually
yeah,
caters more to the creative side because like you don't have to like I don't know. You just like get on your machines and like record for an hour, and then you just record that. You have fun, and then you just post it like as is. You know, people enjoy that
yeah.
content.
Talk me through the idea that you have with Nick.
Yeah, like it's pretty cool. Like he was looking at how long format videos are like a different way to get to like monetizing and audience, like getting audience and all that stuff. Because I already tried the whole Spotify label model. It's like so I don't know, man.
It's
It's
constricted,
like
right?
yeah, and also like it's also like a bunch of appearances, you know, like Gene Simmons. I was like looking at this interview the other day, and he was like really annoyed at Spotify because like my daughter, she has like 1 million streams on one of her songs, and they gave us like $200. So like, you know, when I was in this band like many years ago, I had like more of a punk mentality, and it was like, you know, my music is worth something, the message, and then like putting your music out there on 100 platforms for people to just like, you know, get for free. It's not really like, you know, coherent with like how I think. So like I'm gonna go back to how I thought like many years ago, and just like you know sell the recorded material, you know, on the live performances, and be a local band, and you know, back to the 80s, I guess, you know, like old school. Because it's a lot better. It's like the whole thing of like putting a lot of pressure of posting and every day. And it's like, and it's pretty much just like a, how do you call that? Like a billboard. You gotta like pay your fee to like get noticed, you know, because the algorithm is like very punishing, and you put like, I don't know, man. Like you look at the really successful profiles, and they all their content is the same. You know, it's like very brand, like one after the other, and that's like
Yeah.
I was talking to this friend of ours who's a producer here, and he's been doing music since he's like 4 years old. And he was like, "Man, I'm tired of that stuff. You know, I just want to like, yeah, I don't want to like spend 1 second more like looking at people and their selfies." And more musicians have
Yeah.
put like music at a second place, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's like more about the image and you know this pressure.
Brand.
It's like, I don't know, man. So
It,
Yes.
since
you're
I
totally
don't
right.
care, I don't care anymore, right? So like whatever happens, so I'm just gonna do what I enjoy. So it's a lot
It's
better to
like,
just play and you know whatever comes instead of like and planning stuff ahead. You know, like
yeah.
it's like instead of doing like so many gigs or trying to find many gigs, like make one really good gig. You know, because that will get you like 20 others. You know how it
With
is.
other creators.
Yeah. Also, like this is like a good time to do like weird stuff. Like there's so many stuff, like the metal band, the death metal band, the technical death metal, the progressive thrash Swedish death metal. It's like everything's like so defined, you know. So like now is a good time to experiment and like just play for fun, you know, not for like not expecting anything. That's like where I'm at right now.
Just get people together. I mean, at the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
day, that's what music does.
yeah,
You
man.
know, there's a unification factor. It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad you're getting the guitar out again, Juan.
Oh yeah,
I'm
man. I
sure.
love playing guitar.
Does it remind you of the band that you and Nikolai were in back in Florida or back in
Uh,
Colombia?
Yeah.
yeah. I play like different styles. So like I've played with Nick so many styles that like you know I guess yeah. Like I'm gonna send him like the he'll probably tell you about the Future American Records thing. He's told you. It's pretty cool.
Um.
No.
I
Yeah.
haven't.
No, I don't think I mentioned anything about that. It's.
Okay. Cool. So
But yeah,
well.
the very brief idea about Future American Records is it's a platform for independent music and content delivery. It's like a combined source for new music for those who want to view it, and at the same time, a place for musicians to put their work, and that encapsulates the new American voice. Whatever, like there's an idea of the American music scene, like what is American music, because it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's folk music
What
in
does that
America,
mean?
but
Uh-huh.
where all of the folk music in America comes from somewhere else. Like, some people will argue that that blues or jazz is a strictly American art form, and they say that both of those are from the African American community. So it's like a blending of old styles of music, of woodwind and brass wind music and orchestral music done in a new young black way. So like European music done by African musicians in America, and then so there's an argument for that. Hip hop as well in modern lyric style is an American art form, but the song itself is a European form from like minimum 500 years ago. So it's like
Sure.
where's the new thing? Where is the thing that is American? Because every country has their own folk music, right? Like Russia has folk
Yeah.
music that
It's
it
all
sounds like
similar though.
Russia. Yeah,
That's the
yeah, that's
thing,
the
you know,
crazy
like
part.
traditional music and a lot of countries they sound very similar, but it's just like representing different archetypes, I suppose, or like it's just like the mountain people
Mm-hmm.
archetype, or the farmers, or the valley dweller. There was
Yes.
somebody, I think it was somebody talking about, forgot who the name of the author was, but he was talking about how the environment shapes the way that people develop, and how different environments they bring about a different kind of civilization. Where like for example, the Nordics are the way they are because of where they live, versus just somebody in a completely different environment, that they're shaped differently based on the circumstances of their survival, and what they have to do and who they have to be to actually thrive in an environment like that. It's interesting to consider how we're shaped by the environment that we are in, even if it's just like, on a weather-wise situation. Excuse me.
Oh, sure. He's got echo. Little echo needs attention. There's
Me?
always a cat calling. No, no, not you. You're
Oh,
fine, Matthew.
I
You're
have wind, so tell me if the wind gets. I need your email again, bro. Sorry to uh, fucking.
That's all right. That's all right. It's
I'm sending it to Mark right
all
now.
work related emails can be addressed to publicservice.company@gmail.com.
Seriously though, just text that in the StreamYard chat for me. Sweet baby Barry, come on. Let me pluck that sweet email from your ripe tree. I'm
It is
too dumb to remember that. That
it
sounds
is
way too
ripe
generic and awesome.
and ready for you. Here, I
I
even
can't see. I
look.
can't
Here
see.
it is.
My eyes is can't see.
Now
You
you can
lie.
see.
You
You
are a
can see.
lie. What is
It is
comment?
on screen.
Oh, I see comment. I was looking at chat. I see comment. I
You
say no.
see
Okay.
comment.
Very
You see
good. You
comment.
you do. You know how to spelling. I like.
I can type.
You can
I do
type.
the
You
spell.
can almost spelling. Beautiful.
I almost do
So okay,
spelling.
you guys didn't tell me that email was redundant
As
and
fuck? No, you're
as fuck.
fine.
Yeah. So I like went back through and I'm like, oh shit, I said that like 5 times. But I tried to cut it down to whatever. I don't really give a shit. I think it's from the heart. So there we go. And I'm gonna fucking launch the missile and we're gonna be all right.
Launch the
Okay, you
missile.
guys ready? Let us do a
Yes.
little prayer of spirituality on the old roots of the bonsai. and may the sea of sound and I do like the name you guys put in the new chat thing for the kind of like the division that's the home audio.
Oh, like Audio
It's
Tech,
a little
MFG. It's
generic,
very
but
generic. Yes,
but
that's
yeah, yeah,
go
What does it
figure.
stand for? It was what was it? The
MFG is
NFG.
manufacturing, but
Nice.
it could also mean other things. MFG could stand for other things.
Yeah.
My
Motherfucking goat.
yes, yes. That's the first thing that it stands for. Actually, manufacturing is a secondary abbreviation. It's the motherfucking goat. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be the name. It is
It's
a
what we
name.
do.
You
It's
know.
the thing that makes the thing.
Yeah, and I
The
look
logos.
the letter that you sent, which is basically a business plan, right? You're kind of
Yeah.
outlining different revenue streams and different possible avenues of interest for
Yes.
him. That it's like, oh yeah, I like that kind of stuff, or these guys are doing something I'm interested in. Let me, maybe I could share some expertise. It is wonderful to be a student. Like the beginner mind thing from from Buddhism,
yeah,
or just listening to people. Just listen and learn. Like, hey, tell me something about the things that you like to do. That's the best. Like asking somebody a question about their passions is the most wonderful thing. Like it feels great for them, and they get to talk about it, and you get to hear like the
right.
top quality stuff that they knew. Like
It's the best.
what's the best of a person that they have to
Yeah,
offer that
and
they're passionate
like
about.
I said,
Absolutely.
when I talked to this guy
Agreed.
on the phone, we clicked. It was like a thing where I started talking about my particular passion and love for solid state amps, and particularly the direction of like you know going to or kind of going down the tone quest and how long that takes, and it takes everyone a different length. They arrive at this different place. They all find different things to be, and I find that fascinating, but yeah, like this is gonna be great. In any capacity, like I said, let me repeat what I said to Alex to you. It could be just a thing where like I come over and one of us comes over every now and again, and he shows us how to like fix something or work on something, and gives us little tips and stuff here and there, or advise, being an advisor. Maybe he doesn't want to be completely involved. Maybe he does, but I would like to play one of his amps. I would like to jam at some point, and I would like to also pick his brain. And I think he's completely open to all those things. He just said, send me as many picks as you want. Send me your business plan, and we'll go from there. I just retired. I'm doing things that I like to do for me. And so I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds like we ran into each other at the right time. So
Ah,
yeah, I'm
okay.
firing the missile right now. The
So
long-winded.
he asked specifically for a business plan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said, look, I got your number because I was looking for a specific, like, a good amp tech. I wanted to find one of the best amp repair for people, and I was just calling around, and like, boom, I found someone who makes amps, and then come to find out that's that's like a tiny part of his iceberg,
Hmm. Right. Just
But
like anybody who has any level of skill or talent, it's not ultra focused. Like there's usually a halo of stuff around it. You
Right?
know. You
And yeah, and it sounds like he put like making amps or working on amps and home audio equipment aside to pursue like business, pro audio equipment, designing and programming like lighting and sound setups for big stadiums, and working with like big companies like Alltech Lansing and the fucking QSC Audio, which is pretty rad. I really
Mm-hmm.
really want to talk more about his friendship with Pat Quilter and the times he lived in California. But around the time when the '80s session musician scene was happening. He was building amps, so it's like he could have, he knows. He said he knew a couple of those people, like I believe he said maybe he knows Dumble, but it's really cool. He moved up here, so I don't know. He lives in Magnolia.
Ah, okay.
But I'll pick his brain. I'll try to find out more. If he never gets back to us, hey man, let's keep going. I'm gonna keep calling around. I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah, don't stop, never stopping. That's what the
Don't
entrepreneur
stop till you
does.
get enough. Come on, come on.
What is this? The pedal guy, Nick?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, that he has quite like a story, no?
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool.
Let's see here.
Yes, and Juan is a guitar
Juan is
tone
he's
shaper
a
as
gear
well.
a gear hound, a gear nerd too.
Yeah,
Holy
actually,
shit, the email's long.
Actually, when you mentioned the whole tone of thing, like that's pretty cool because like I also spent like years like finding the right pedals and stuff,
Right.
and I got pedals, sold pedals, so
Yeah, tell me about your tone quest, Juan. Tell me about what was the okay, this is the best question to ask. Not what gear did you land on, because obviously that will be the question that, or you'll answer that on your own. But
Right, do that at the end.
what was the congruency that you found? That's what's more important, and that right there is what people don't realize. They think, oh, it has to be a new pedal that's going to be. No, there's like a type of clipping that you like for if it's distortion. There's a type of magnet that you like if it's pickups, or a type of magnet that you like if it's speakers. Things like that. Did you get that far down the rabbit hole? I mean,
yeah, definitely.
tell me about
like,
your journey.
I remember like I started, like you started with I started with an acoustic guitar.
Yep.
So like the first like electric guitar that I had, I went to Guitar Center, got like something that had like bright colors, right? And you don't really
like
know.
what, like a Ovation or like a
No,
like
I got
Ibanez?
my first guitar was a Fender Toronado.
Oh, cool. Oh, Coronado's rock. I want to get a vintage one. Those are like the 335s of Fenders, man. I love those.
This one was like a special edition that they were making. It looked like one of those like those. No, it looked like it was made in Korea, and it had like a racing stripe,
Oh, cool. Yeah. The one down the center. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
it
like
orange? A car color?
No, it wasn't actually. Like it was like in an L shape, and it was blue. It was like
blue.
Blue, and the line was white, and that was my first guitar. And I got like one of those. I don't know, one of those Digitech. Is it like Digitech the RP? Yeah, the RP 350.
700 or
no, the RP. Yeah, the 350. It was like like it looked like a toy, right? Like metal with blue.
Yeah. And the Zoom pedals were out at the time. Totally. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I went for that, and I didn't really. Man, it's a shame because like I now that I think about it, like I wish that I ended up recycling that because I didn't know where to put it in Miami because I had to move.
What about the amp though? Did you just run it direct and listen through headphones?
Yeah, I got a small Marshall like 15.
Like practice amp. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I actually still got it, and I still love that amp. It sounds great.
Is that the DG15 or something like that? It's like
the MG15 CDR.
MG15. That's what it was. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, MG15 CDR.
MG15,
that was cool.
Yep, CDR.
I still have that one. And
nice.
Yeah,
15s, man. 15-inch speakers, dude. 15-inch speakers. You remember that, okay?
It's a very nice amp. It's at Acuña's, Nick.
Oh yes, I remember because he used it for the Roland.
No. I left it there so I didn't have to like take an amp.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it back.
Okay. So what was your next piece of gear? What was did you keep playing along the way, or did you put it down and then decide, hey, I want to do this again?
No, I never stopped playing. I've never stopped playing like since I got that was like I was 16, and I never stopped. Yeah, I
Good.
never stopped after 16. So
Nice.
then I got another guitar. I got a
Ibanez?
ESP,
Oh,
an LTD Viper 400.
ESP. Yeah, LTDs.
Yeah,
Those are made by ESP, I think.
yeah.
Or they
It's
used to
like
be.
it's like the Squire. It's like their
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
line.
It's their. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's
So did you
I
get
got.
like an SG, like the
Yeah,
dark, like
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
all black,
Yeah.
and it had the
All black
EMGs
with
81,
super
85.
dark metal looking.
Yeah. Yes, I was into that. Was like my. I actually want one of those again. It was such a oof, that guitar sounded.
Yeah, dude, the Tony Iommi signature one was through LTD or ESP, and that one had like upside down crosses for the fret markers. It was like a black with pointy SG look, and
Oh
their
no,
SG body shape is.
that was an Epiphone guitar, the one you're talking about.
Oh well, yeah, they did. They did an LTD as well. He did
Oh
one
really?
through them, but oh,
That's
but
more
for a
recent though,
brief
right?
moment. No, it was a brief moment. He ended up settling with Gibson and
Ah,
Epiphone, of course,
yeah, because I remember the
because they're a
Epiphone with
bigger
the
company.
crosses. Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
nice.
made
yeah,
in
I know.
Vietnam.
Double
the
humbuckers.
LTDs, right?
Sorry, what was that?
The ESP LTDs. They're made in Vietnam, if I'm correct. High craftsmanship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the guitar is
fast
great, man.
guitars. They play fast.
Very
They're fucking
fast.
high output pickups. Are
Yes.
those is that the one with the red humbuckers, or is that just like
No, it was all black. It was all
matte
black.
black? Is it all
Yeah.
matte black?
Yes.
Yeah. No
No,
finish.
it wasn't. It wasn't matte black. It was glossy finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I have an
Such-
SG. It's
such-
red.
Oh man, such a great guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. They're fun. I call it the Chunk Master because all I want to do is play heavy stuff on it.
Yeah, that's why I got it. I was listening. I started listening to
Tony
like,
Iommi and Black Sabbath.
metal.
Oh,
I was
stoner.
listening to harder metal, like death metal and stuff,
Right.
like from Europe.
Slayer.
Yeah,
Slayer
Slayer.
was my thing.
Yeah, Slayer is good. Slayer's inspired most of the like European bands.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, dude. I just went to. I'm going to Melvin's next month. Melvin's and Mr. Bungle concert. It's gonna be fucking rad. I've seen the Melvins like so many times, but they're my favorite. Yeah. Where's Dropbox? God damn it, Alex! You got me into Dropbox. I can't find it. There's too many apps on this piece of shit. I sound like an 80-year-old guy. I'm like, God damn, why'd you with the fucking buttons in the god your trying
Let me get my grandson to help me with this.
Dropbox.
trying to find my Dropbox.
search
What's a
bar.
Dropbox? What's a
search
Dropbox?
bar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. Oh yeah.
And you
that's
can
right.
search
Okay.
by
Yeah.
text.
I got it now.
By
I
image
forgot
as
about
well.
that feature. Thank you for fucking slapping me up the side of the head with common sense. And you dumbass. I'm an exennial, bro. I'm like in between where things change from analog to digital, so I still have all that old like lost. I'm lost sometimes. Okay, got it. Thank you. Where's the storage
What a cool
supplies?
stage
Boom.
as a human.
Yeah.
The stage that learns to use the computer.
Yeah.
What
Hey,
an
guess what I
important-
just got? A fucking. It's called a G box, right? It's like this.
Do tell.
It's literally like 3 or 4 inches square, and it has like 7,000 or 6,000 games on it, like arcade games, regular Nintendo, Atari, fucking.
Atari?
Yeah. Fucking. What's that other one? The Linux, not line. The L1. It's got all the ones that are like overseas
TurboGrafx
ones.
16.
I have a mini Super Nintendo that I
Sega
can load up with all the
Genesis.
ROMs. Yeah, exactly. But it's more geared towards the weird arcade stuff. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been playing some fucking video games lately. I just got the Nintendo Switch. So, anybody else? Juan, you down?
Yeah, I'm playing Elden Ring right now.
That's right.
Yeah, he's got a Switch too.
I'm a
I
big
heard
nerd,
good
man.
things, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing. I am stuck right now on the most difficult game in video game history or something.
I'll tell you what, I went nuts on Oblivion and then Skyrim for a while, and those are the last like sort of newer, what's the word, first person sort of 3D ones I've done. Elden Ring, my buddy, my ex roommate he like spent months and months playing it, and he told me all about it. But
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I've got too much on the plate right now. But I'm doing Zelda, Breath of Fire, Breath of Wild. Sorry.
Yeah, I finished all of that game too. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm behind the I'm like what 10 years behind. It's been out since I always do that. I like wait years and years, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're gonna come out with another one. Oh shit, I better play the first one.
Yeah, well, you're never late, just do things on your own time, man.
Give them time to work out the kinks, the bugs, and release the expansion and make everything cheaper. Don't
And
fucking
also, like,
spend your money. Yeah.
There's
right
like this thing today in which like people are very anxious, in which like you need to do everything like now, like nah, man, just when you get to it, that's the moment in which you need to get to it. There's games that I haven't played, and they came out like years and years ago, like Control. Have you ever heard of Control? I have that one. I have a couple of games that I haven't played. The new Far Cry 6. I haven't played that one.
Alex, sorry, 1 second. So it's under storage supplies. It says share upload folder. Yeah, fuck you. Let it burn.
Sorry, I gotta mute that for a second. I'm sorry, Matthew. Just hold on a second. It's
Yeah, no idea what you wanted. Hope all is well, Matt.
Oh yes, there you go.
Just
still there. They haven't abolished the cops.
don't
yet?
resist,
Come on.
Matt.
Yes.
Just show them your hands.
Yes.
No, I was asking about how to find the link for the storage supply folder. That's the one that I shared with you, right? That has all the components. It's called storage supplies on Dropbox, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
So. I can double check.
Oh
Double check that real quick, because that's the one.
no.
Here, I'll send it to you real quick via text, and before I
No.
attach.
No. Fuck.
Oh fuck. Here we go.
Almost got it.
Mark's been getting right back to me.
Come on.
He's like,
What
I
do you
didn't
got?
receive any of your emails. I'm like, I'm working on Dropbox.
won.
Hold on.
Yes!
It's called storage supplies.
Oh, marica!
Yes.
Oli, I got her, weón. Por fin, hijo de puta. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm here. Let me see. Here's a link to the photo.
Mierda. Oh.
Boom, paste. There we go. Sending, guys. Oh. So Alex at Miliar, and then public
Yes.
service company at Gmail,
Oh,
and then
marica. Dude,
Yes.
my fifth try, weón. O sea, I finally got Millennia.
Well done.
invalid address. Bonsai pack. Oh, it's because it wants to.
If you do Bonsai Pact at Gmail, I get all of them. There's like 30 email addresses I think I have sometimes.
Why does it want?
Anyways,
Why does it? Why does
how
it
are
want to
things
send
in
it to
Colombia?
Bonsai?
That's fine. You can send it to Bonsai
Okay.
Pact.
Whatever. I sent it. Okay, I'm gonna tell him I sent, and then we're gonna just have a good time. Thank you guys for your patience. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's
All right.
That's what we do.
Dude, I got a good intuition about this, and even if it's not gonna be what we would like it to be, it's gonna be what we need it to be, and that may just be a small amount of the things to push us in the direction that we need to go. But I'm honored to have you guys with me on this journey. So thank you. Appreciate you.
It is a journey.
Appreciate your support.
Indeed. We're
And
always
Juan.
on that journey.
We need to jam. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go to Seattle
Yes.
soon.
Like
Oh,
you
sweet.
sound familiar to me. Like I feel like I've met you before. Like
A star
Yeah.
brother, indeed.
Yeah, probably in a past
Wow.
life, man. I've been around here for a while. Yeah, 5,000 generations or some shit.
did you ever order a custom pedal from a company called Nigel?
No.
Okay. Well, someone that looks just like you. I thought his name started with a J, but it was a
I
while
just like a lot of
ago.
bearded, long-haired dudes. So
Actually, he did a guitar. I painted a guitar for him, and we put a fuzz pedal inside of it. That wasn't a pedal. That was like a whole different project. He was a practicing luthier, and he wanted someone to paint his guitar for him. So I did this like really cool like sparkle blue with and I did the circuit the circuit layout of the fuzz that we put in there on the back of the guitar, like all the lines and stuff, and then on the front he had this really cool backstory. He's like, I want to just picture the guitar like buried underneath the rubble of a city that in the future where like someone from the future like 150 years finds this guitar and they're like, what is this old antiquated thing? But it's like from the future for us right now. So it's like I was like, oh cool, man. So the shape of the guitar was like something between like a BC Rich Warlock and like a I don't know, Gibson Explorer, I think. Like it had a pretty sharp, pointy, like sort of gnarly look to it.
I have an Explorer.
Cool.
I like it.
I like Explorers. It's one of the ones Gibson I like. Yeah.
It plays so good. I've had it for like over 10 years.
You know what I need? Mini humbuckers. I haven't tried them yet. I haven't. That's the only pickup I have never like owned a guitar with, or just like had a substantial amount of time with. And every time I hear him on these videos, like, have you ever watched the GHS show? He's got a mini humbucker, and a few of these like not P90s. If it's not P90s and like a gold top, it's the minis. And I'm just like, God, they have this sound, right?
They do. They're great. I've heard good things about them too.
They're like warm and kind of quiet, but they're like, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
What's the specs on them compared to just regular humbuckers or single coils?
I would imagine they're a little less hot, but
Lower
I don't
gain.
know. I don't know. And Seth Lover probably, I think, designed those as well afterwards. Because they wanted the humbucker to be smaller. They wanted it to look like a single coil, remember? And the whole idea of a humbucker was not for it to be a humbucker. It was for it to sound like a single coil. Sound like the P90, but not have hum. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 90 cycle hum.
So, Juan, continue on. So where are we at? We got the SG. What about amps?
Yep.
What else do we got? What are we rocking now? And tell me, where's the congruencies? We've got to find the congruencies. So far, I'm hearing like some heavy shit. You like heavy shit? That's good. So what distortions? Where are you at with that stuff?
I never really like was into details until like a lot later on, like I was like I when I was playing in a band. I used to be in a band in Boston for a while, and I would just go to the place and like plug my guitar to the amp they had in the venue, whether it was shit or not, and I would just like use the overdrive channel. And that's what I did for a while, and until I got like my first pedal, which I actually ended up giving away because I had no idea what to do with it. So I played like that for a while, just straight to the amp. That was like for a couple of years. And then I started building my pedal board. But it's because like I started, just you start noticing the limitations, right? So that's pretty much, I think that this whole pursuit of tone is just like, you trying to like find solutions to the limitations of venues or recording or all that stuff,
Sure.
Like
I also think it's the other thing too. It's a beginner player will get into it, get into the idea of it, get into the fat of it, spend money on really nice expensive gear and have all these options, but the creativity isn't there because the limitations are gone. You know what I mean? I think the people that struggled initially, like when I was growing up, it was expensive to get. That's why I could only afford like a Zoom pedal or like a Boss multi-effects, and that's all I had, or it was built into that cheesy amp I had. That was all I could afford. I couldn't buy like a bunch of stuff, but nowadays you can get a whole rig on like OfferUp or eBay, like that is amazing for less than $100. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really accessible now. Like in comparison to before, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like the Zoom thing you were talking about. Digitech, right? Like the Zoom 505, I think is what I had. That thing had like every noise and every sound you could think of. I was like, I'm happy with this shit. It just keeps
Yeah,
me
and it's very
going.
good. Like it's very good. Like those, I have one of those Zoom G3s, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, the
And
G3. Yeah,
yeah, all you need to do is like, look, I after because like I ended up like in the band in Boston. I was like playing with people who were going to Berkeley at the time, so like I had access to the studios and all that stuff. And I ended up after playing with like MG, like the $100 amp. I ended up like doing sessions with like 1,000, like 1,500, like $3,000 amps. Sometimes like boutique amps from like I don't know, like before. So
yeah, like a
like
Mesa, triple rec, or a yeah,
yes, like yeah, I could talk to you about like brands and references like forever. And like
yeah,
to this day, I just think that like it's all about the ear, like we have this guitar player once told me that it's not the bow and the arrow,
it's in the
it's who shoots
hands.
it.
It's
It's
in
who
the
shoots
hands,
it,
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a
So
solid state guy. I've been playing PVs and cheap amps my whole life. No problems. No problems whatsoever.
yeah, well, that's good stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're playing something bad.
No, I play quilters. That's what I like. And I've got a couple, like a one tube amp, I think, right? It's actually a hybrid. It's a solid state pre. It's an old PV from the '70s. It's got L 606 isn't in the power stage.
I remember
Double.
one of the best gigs I ever played was like with a 10-watt amp. That was like some Chinese knockoff, and this guy lent it to me, and I had to like ride the train with it for like an hour to get it to the venue because there was no amp. And
Yeah.
that was one of the best gigs I ever played.
The album Queens of the Stone Age Songs for the Deaf was recorded on a PV Rage, or a small practice amp. That whole album. So it's like, you know what I mean? People think they have to have something to sound a certain way. I think there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, studio technologies can change. You know what I think is the most important pedal is an EQ pedal. I've had one on my board for years. I have a really nice EQ pedal. I think that's just takes everything to the next notch, because you can change a distortion if I need more bass. I'm not gonna run out and buy a new pedal. I'm gonna add bass to the fucking EQ pedal. Boom, done. Change the
Yeah, yeah.
frequencies. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, that's
all you
pretty
gotta do.
smart. I usually use just like the amp controls, and most of the pedals that I have, I have this beautiful overdrive pedal by Seymour Duncan. I think it's 805.
Oh, dude,
305.
yeah. Seymour Duncan makes great pedals. I had a fuzz for a while.
It's got like an EQ in it, so it's got like 6 knobs. It's beautiful and it's very compact.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, EQ is important, man. Important. The
Really
more
is.
EQ you have, like the more
And
control.
Alex will tell you about buffers. Tell us about buffers, Alex.
If you have a pedal
It's like a lot of wind.
board,
Yes. Okay.
signal loss is definitely a factor that musicians face, especially musicians who use a pedal board. Because if you're running your signal through a lot of effects or through different consoles, you lose high end. So the crispness of the high end generally it tapers out and it becomes duller. So buffers bring back the high quality.
The capacitance
Sound,
has
exactly.
the high range, yes. The high frequencies, yes. Absolutely correct.
Good cables mean a lot as well, I've noticed. Some of my
Yeah, and they all
favorite
sound
cables. Oh yeah. Some of my favorite cables are probably Mogami cables.
I have Mogami and Lava.
Belden makes good cables. Vovox. They all change the EQ of an instrument, potentially. Some people don't consider that as a factor that influences or changes their sound, but
Yeah.
It starts
Nick,
from the very beginning.
what about you?
Like,
How do you feel about this?
I mean, I feel really strongly about cables. I'm a
Yeah.
cable guy.
Quality
I love
cable.
Cable guy.
You like cable
yeah.
television? You like
Yeah, totally. Like coax, everything, every kind of cable that there is. I enjoy them. I just like having them around.
They're your friends.
well, I
Yeah, it's
watched
like
this
you never
thing
know when
about
you might need one. So
cables.
in a way, they're interchangeable, right? They're so commodified. It's probably the last thing that people think about. But when you're talking about an electrical signal, the
Yeah.
thing that carries the signal really has to be considered, right?
Low
Like,
oxygen copper, gold
yeah,
connectors, and also very good shielding. I watched this video on cheap cables, and that
yes.
the shielding was actually the only thing that really mattered because it would, filter out all the
Radio
what do you call it?
frequency interference, electromagnetic. Yeah.
UHF, and electromagnet. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the fact that you have it around so many other electronic devices, like if I could show you uh, what my setup looks like now, what I have to do in order to overcome the noise of all of the electronics, like
Noise
5
gate.
hard drives. Yes. No, I have to combine
Faraday
the noise
cage.
gate with
The
a
decimator.
no with a preamp, a pentode
ah,
preamplifier, and that is what
Fancy.
that's what's powering this Rode microphone. And so that's what gets the volume up high enough so that there's signal over
yeah.
that noise, because I can't avoid the noise. Like there's no amount of cable that's going to fix this Michigas, this whole disaster of cables. There's a lot of stuff connected back here, and there are three there are three power strips that are full. So like, all of that power and cables
Yeah.
crossing, there's
Power
only so
strips
much you can do.
are a thing. I got two Furman power strips, and let me tell you, they changed the tone. Excuse me, all the interference.
Quality power.
Yeah, I have everything that comes through
Isolated.
APC
Yeah.
battery
Yeah,
powered
isolated.
backup
Yep.
and
Yep.
a line conditioner. So it's like
Power conditioner. Yeah.
yeah. So
Dirty
at least
power
it
is
starts
bad.
there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess these things are the foundation of music, right? Like a lot of people consider
Yeah.
the instrument like what wood is it? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just strings over wood,
Right.
right? And then
Right.
now we're talking about the type of wire that's wound around the posts that make the
Juan.
pickup for the string. Like
Hey Juan.
Yes.
Oh, he's playing Elden Ring. I was gonna show
Yeah,
him this.
I'm paying attention to both things at the same
Similar
time.
to your first guitar you were talking about with that the semi hollow.
yeah, the Cordova.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks a lot like
Um,
that.
what was the thing? The buffers are important. I actually played through Alex's rig, and I was like, "Holy shit! Wow!" Like, because I use like a boss buffer in the beginning and a boss buffer then, and I'm just so used to that kind of buffer that I don't lose a lot of capacitance, but there is a different tone. And his rig sounded like just like because I brought my guitar over and plugged it in, and it's like I heard my guitar in a very different way, and I was blown away by the sound of that. And so, yeah, I think I want to get a Swiss things. What do you think about that, Alex? To fix my buffer problems, or my buffer thing.
Get a
Earthquake Devices makes a thing called a Swiss things. It's 2 effects loops, input buffer. You can run 2 separate ins and outs for, like, say you want to put your reverbs on one, and then your drives on the other, and then the output buffer goes to the amps.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss clock. It's
Isolate
cool.
them. Yeah. buffers have an impact on fuzz pedals. So generally, people try to avoid using buffers around fuzz pedals or in front of fuzz pedals because they like minimize the fuzz. So sometimes fuzz pedals are plugged in separately into to
Yeah,
avoid
it's the impedance
buffer
of the circuit
effect.
that causes problems. Hey, Juan, this is my SG. This is Gingy.
Gingy.
Oh wow, man, that's a beautiful guitar.
This is
Yeah.
a no name from the '60s. It is made
Oh, wow.
overseas.
The
Who
the
know?
finish is beautiful. Has a beautiful
Yeah, dude.
finish.
I put lace sensors in it. Oh, it's
Oh,
beat
those
up,
are
dude.
great.
Look at that.
Let's talk about lace sensors and why we love lace sensors.
Yeah,
I have them in
I've always wanted
three
lace sensors.
guitars.
Tell me about them.
Yes.
Okay. My thing initially was the 60 cycle hum. That's the only reason I decided to go that direction, because I don't think at that time Fender had released the noiseless pickups, and I thought humbuckers were too dark and too loud. I liked my Strat, and I was like, I want to figure out how to get that to go away. So I played an Eric Clapton signature guitar when it came out, which has the gold lace sensor pickups, or
Yes.
initially they did before Fender changed over. And I remember that had an impression on me. I was like, oh wow, it's still got the tone, but it's clean. I would
quiet.
say it sounds different. You know,
Mhm.
you won't like
What's different about it?
the way the
'Cause lace
magnetic
sensors have.
the way the magnetic picks up is different. The field, the way
Uh-huh.
the field is generated, is a different shape as well. And you have to have them in a specific distance from the strings. There's no like messing around with, oh, I want to bring up the height for more treble or bring it down for more bass. You know how normal, no pole adjustments. It's all done on induction too, not like output. It's like a different kind of induction resistance too. It's a different type of magnetism, which is interesting. But anyways, I found them to be here. Let me show you really quick. So Juan, or if anybody's interested, these are lace sensors I put in. Okay, can you? So this one, the neck pickup is my favorite. It's like a Jimi Hendrix sound, like pictures like Little Wing or Steve Ray Vaughan sound, like that classic neck pickup sound is amazing.
Who makes
This
those
is
pickups?
lace sensor. These are all lace sensors.
Like what,
this is
Seymour
it.
Duncan? Or
No, lace is their own brand.
Oh, it's an actual company. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then this is the silver one, which is like a P90/humbucker vibe in the middle. And then this one is two different pickups. So the red is super hot, like metal, and the blue is like a fatter sort of PAF sound. And then I can coil split. And then I've got the David Gilmour mod, so I can bring the neck pickup in
Yes.
wherever I want to bring it in. And
Which
then
is
this
awesome.
switches
Wait,
between.
let me cut. Yeah, I have to ask you a question. I'm really interested in that. What you said, the David Gilmour mod, that you can bring the bridge, the bridge pickup
the
wherever
neck,
you want.
bring the
How do you
neck
do
pickup
that?
in.
So how do you do that?
Pickup in. You wire it.
Fantastic.
You wire it on
There's
a double pull, double throw switch that goes in parallel with all the pickups. So you have
It's a
to run
special
it
type
through.
of wiring. Well, because you're talking to
there's
me like
diagrams
in
on
Russian.
Diagrams on the internet. You'll find it.
I'm gonna look for it. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you got to get a double pull, double
Worth
throw, which is a three-way switch, right? So
Yeah.
on, right? On, double pull, double throw. Otherwise, it'll be off, on, or on, off, on.
Right.
So you got to get the right switch. And then I just followed a diagram. So don't like, I couldn't walk you through it right now. I just looked at what I had going on. Also, depending on your pickup, you have series parallel or coil split. And if you want that to be a part of it, then you need to look at the diagram for that too, because there's differences there. Which lace sensor, man, they give you the option to do like, if you get a humbucker that's a dually, like the one in my bridge, you can wire it series into parallel. So the red into the blue or the blue into the red, or you can split them, or you can do one or just the other or both together. And then throw the neck pickup into any of those combinations. So that's why I decided to go that direction.
Interesting. It's pretty
That's
cool.
my number one guitar. I've had that the longest. Since I was like 22.
It sounds like an innovative pickup, the lace sensors, because they're quiet. You
Yeah.
don't have the hum, and they have a
They're
nice
sweeter.
balanced
They're
sound.
sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're balanced and sweeter. They're I don't know. You'd have to play them. I think
I
think
had
the hotter
a guitar
ones are
with lace
better.
sensor. The hotter ones are better.
Yeah,
Okay.
the gold ones, then the
I
red
had a
ones.
lower output lace sensors. In a
The emerald
Fender.
one's my favorite. But which
Emerald?
ones did you have?
I don't remember. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they might have been gold.
You can get like a preloaded pick guard,
Blue,
so you don't have to do
silver,
any of the wiring.
Or
Otherwise, so Juan, if you just want to get like a Strat 3-loaded pickup, get like the Billy Corgan version where it's the red, silver, and blue, and then you can just do the good David Gilmour mod. All you gotta do is
I actually looked into that. Like once I was gonna get like one of those pre-wired pickups, and like you know, I read about it, and that like everybody, like mostly the consensus is like, oh, wait until you can afford like the. But because I think that like it's best to like sometimes like if you wait a little bit more, you can get like something a little bit better and it lasts longer.
okay.
So
I took out the tone. I have a master tone and a master volume. I took out the extra tone. I replaced the tone with a TBX tone pot, which is a double stacked 1 meg pot. So in the middle, it's got a detent, which means that there's no tone added. It takes it out.
yeah.
And if you roll it from 5 up to 10, that's the normal tone control. And below, it cuts bass frequencies. So if you think when you bring that neck pickup into certain situations, it's too bassy, then you can roll that tone out, and it's a whole 1 meg of frequency, one whole fucking K of deliciousness to play around with.
Earthworm Jim. Yeah.
The Tone Quest.
Oh man, I got one for you guys. Let's see if you recognize who this one is. I want to see, like, you know who this is?
I'm on my phone, so maybe zoom in here.
This is Buzz Lightyear.
That looks like.
No. What is that?
Hold on, just a second.
Those are difficult. That's a big collector's item. Like those are hard to get. Think about it.
Oh wait, is that Bruce Willis
Yes, sir. Bruce Willis.
from Armageddon?
Yeah, man. You got it.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Now, I was
Also
gonna
had Ben
say the
Affleck.
guy from Abyss. What's his name? Something Harris.
Yeah, that's a different.
Remind me of that guy.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
Bruce. Oh, hey, sad thing about him, right? Isn't he like going like senile or amnesia or something?
Yeah, he has dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah, he's like going through like really bad phase now. He's like totally forgot who he is.
Right. Hey, man, and that might be a blessing if you're a fucking famous person, because it's like, that, you know,
Well,
you want to go
no.
back to a nobody.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even know like with
I know.
dementia.
I'm making a joke. I'm just saying.
Okay. yeah. Yeah, obviously.
You get sick of everybody recognizing you. It's like, I just want to be someone else for a day. Well, there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be a new person every day.
Or imagine how trippy that is, not knowing that you're a famous actor, and everyone
When people
around
recognize
you is
you,
so
yeah.
nice, and so like everyone knows you. That's kind of fucking creepy. Not knowing
It is
why
creepy,
everyone
and
knows you.
I'm sure he has an assistant that would walk him through that kind of situation. Oh man, and how would you remember your assistant? Like, what in the brain do they like latch onto? Because they will remember some people. You know, it's interesting what the brain chooses.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen this video of. I'll find it for you instead of explaining it.
We talking about Jesus?
So Nick, so who is going to be on the next podcast? What celebrities do you have in line? Like Logan Paul and his brother Jake and Brendan Schaub, right?
Yeah, no.
Brendan Schaub, UFC fighter?
Yeah,
He's gonna be the first, for sure.
Brendan Schaub. Wow, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That guy's going through a hard time, man.
This guy is like,
Who is that?
he had his stroke. He was turning 95, and he can
Louis
barely
Armstrong?
move. He can't talk.
Oh, it's too loud.
They,
Can you put it a little bit lower?
yeah.
Yes, I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yes,
Louis
yes.
Armstrong?
Okay.
No. Art Blakely.
No, it's not it's like these are just like old jazz musicians, right? And the guy in the middle who's sitting down, he had a stroke and he can't like walk, can't do anything.
Oh.
But they put a keyboard on his lap, and the guy starts playing cornet over here, and he's playing jazz. He remembers that. Like look at the.
Yes.
Look at the joy on his face. This is what I'm talking about. This is
that's
music
the point.
never leaves
Because-
you, and it's a language, and what you
Yeah.
remember or what you keep with you. Maybe if
People
Bruce
who have
Willis,
severe brain
Can
trauma.
I want to
start
tell you
painting.
something. I want to tell you something about that, dude. Like just about what you said. Oh, Alex left.
yes, something is wrong with his phone, or he had something else to do.
Okay. I hope he wasn't upset with my huge Bruce Willis
was.
homage hit.
He was really pissed
Yes.
at you, man. How could
Yeah,
you?
because Bruce Willis murdered his family.
13. He didn't like that 12 Monkeys movie either.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna tell you. Look, Osai, it's very funny. I wanted to share this with you right now. Whilst I'm talking to you, I'm playing kind of like dissociated because I'm doing both things, so I can't really like focus on.
Yeah. Multitasking.
And then his phone dies.
I'm
And
gonna
then
go
there's
park
just
my
the two
truck
of
and
us.
this will be all taken care of. So you won't,
All right. Well.
yeah, you won't trip on it, and I'll be quiet. Yep, love you.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Nick says hi. She waved a tired wave.
Hey, look, that's more than a lot of people get. At least there was a wave. At least you didn't flip
No,
me
not like
off.
a tired, like she's tired of you. Like, yeah.
she doesn't see me enough to get tired of me.
Dude, I have slept hardly at all in the last 2 days. I'm like, at the same token,
You should.
hoping
should
tonight is the
continue.
night, bro. Well,
Tonight
Zelda
is your night,
might have
bro.
something to do with it, but also I haven't been feeling well. And also, like, I've been working, trying to, like, my job's changing, so we'll have more free time to pursue what I consider to be things that people like me and you are meant to do, is be your own sort of quote unquote boss or entrepreneur of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Money's not what the aim is. The aim is to not have to do something for other people. I mean, I love the cause and what I do, and I like saving the planet, and I'm really proud to be a part of that. But the money part, I mean, I still have to like dedicate like 40 hours of my week, whereas I'd rather have more time, you know what I mean, to do creative
Yes.
things. I'm
Yes.
just I'm done with it, man. I'm getting older and I'm ready.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, no,
is
I
it
hear
just me
you.
and you now, huh?
I hear you. Yes, and that's all right. I think this year will be better than the last, to quote
Yeah.
Counting Crows.
Maybe this year will be better than the last. Can't remember last thing that she said, Julie. I don't remember I don't.
How the days
Because it's
go by
one more
so.
night in Hollywood. Something. It's one more night, man.
Can you hear the keyboard?
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
sounds like a Wurlitzer. Sounds pretty fucking
It's a
dope.
Rhodes. It's a Rhodes.
Yeah, a Rhodes, like a whirly birdie.
Na, na,
Na 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 na.
yeah. Oh,
Excuse me.
yes. No, no, no excuse necessary. We
I have no excuse.
There's no excuse for you. Man,
I mean, if people's iPhones die all the time, imagine people not charging their Teslas.
yes. I wonder.
Eventually, it'll just charge itself.
Yes, it'll
It's
be
not like
wireless charging. It's in the driveway. You just park it in the driveway and it wirelessly charges like a little thing
or the
pushes
highway
down.
has little lanes that charge. You can you can be in this one lane if you pay a subscription.
You get a subscription uh, to the
Bigger lane.
express lane. Yeah, well, you kind of have that now, right? If you drive with other people, or if you're a
Mm,
bus,
That's what the whole
or if
bitch
you're in a
about.
motorcycle.
It's just
Yeah, I
extortion.
don't even know where to put this. Eh, you.
What's
Sure.
happening?
There you
Oh,
go.
there we
There
go.
you go.
Are we about to witness a magic trick? I feel like
Hey,
like
everybody.
Good evening.
The
Good
light is
evening.
awesome. It's so good.
like we're witnessing a
Hello, my friends.
David Blaine scenario. Hello,
I ran
hello.
out of battery again.
Oh yeah, me
No.
too.
It could be. You need to get like
Lithium mine. Your own
Charger.
mine.
a charger. Yeah, there's also these little
I never charge it.
wireless chargers. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
like it's and you just sit it on there
Oh yeah.
and then
Could be. But this
it'll
phone
get
has fast charging. It'll be charged in 10 minutes, like 40%. It's great. Like the
Yeah.
iPad came with like a fast charger, so charger's fast. Good stuff. So I'll just like pop in on occasion. Like, what's up?
all right, yeah. Well, speaking of music, that was an interesting jam the other night with our new bandmates or something. He wanted some saxophone, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It was a
Um,
good conversation, good jam. A little bit like oil and water at first with the social dynamic, but
yes, that
we
was
all
an
got to
interesting
jamming and
blend.
warmed up to it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about getting a rehearsal space somewhere in the vicinity, probably South City. And
You you can rent them in different spots.
Yeah, but I was thinking of like having a regular spot with all the equipment set up, like a private, a smaller studio, something monthly I have 24-hour access to. And we could come in and record anytime, uh, or rehearse, anytime you wanted to rehearse as well. Feel free to use it. Like that's,
Is there anything out there like that?
yeah, yeah, I've been doing some research on it. There are quite a few established studios. There's Cloud Studios here, the one in Capitol Hill. But it's right next to the Racer, the new Cafe Racer, and it's underground, and they have tons of studios there, and you can rent
Hey
them
man, I wanted to tell you
monthly.
about this thing that like I talked to like this guy who is works with government here, like about doing some stuff, and I think like you're talking about it could be I think Seattle would be like super cool to do it. Like I had this idea of like having, for example, in the neighborhoods where they can't afford it, right? Like we're gonna have come like this express like recording thing. So like for a day, like people would go and like they would record their song and they would like, leave with a song uploaded, everything, like cover art and all that stuff. In Seattle, it could be a business because they have so many local bands, right? So if you have so many local bands, like,
Like a van type studio
oh
situation.
man, now you've taken it to the next level. That's a place where that could help. Obviously, I would recommend having some cops around because of the equipment.
Of course, yes.
Well, I mean, you could
Like
always
that's what we would do
drive around
here.
and pick people up, and
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. But
and you
you at
could
least
drive
want
to a
to.
cool area.
Oh yeah, that too. That would be that's even like even cooler. Because they imagine like they pick you up like your friends, your band, they pick you up that and you have a studio in the van, right? And you drive to this beautiful, especially like you guys, you live in the places that you can park in where you guys live. That's like a dream, man. Like for inspiration, like people could just like in an afternoon, like they could like create something beautiful like you because like you guys like I know for a fact that like you've scouted like locations and I know that you've hiked and all that stuff like the zone so like you actually know where to take people for inspiration like I would like for one if I had those places so close well I have places that are beautiful too but it's not as easy because like you have nice roads and everything dude that's like in Seattle it would be man, that would be a great experience. I've never heard of that. Like the recording van picks up your bandmates, they take you somewhere, you come back with a finished product. Pretty cool.
Great idea,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I
It's
would.
just
I
that
think,
turnaround time is really the whole crux of things, right?
yeah. I mean, It's like whatever's in the day. You pick them up and you make a like it's a live stream like the studio's being live streamed, right? So that nobody can fuck with you. That's part of it. Uh, you
This is
know,
hilarious.
and
Yeah.
then of course, like you're like whatever you can do in the day, like hey, we're gonna make a song, and it's like if it happens quickly, and they're happy with it, then maybe you can make another one, but it's time limited, right? Like 4 hours or something like that,
Yeah.
and then you go pick somebody else up.
Hey, but you shouldn't put this business thing, don't put it online, bro. So don't stream online this because this could represent money for you. Just saying.
But we're
That's the Colombian in me talking, baby. Protect your idea.
this is
You're right.
yes.
You brought it up.
No, but it's very good. Like really, in Seattle, you have a music scene. You have people who actually invest in instruments. You have people who invest in rehearsal spots. They invest in a studio.
Hmm.
Of course, they're gonna invest in a different experience. You know, it's a great thing. Like, and you know, you could in the future you could even have a boat. You know, like recording studio, i.e., you know, watching the orcas. We're on orca metal. Oof. Marica, ¿qué es esa
No,
mierda?
I do need the
Está
yacht.
muy cerdo, güey.
Yeah,
No, this is a
yeah,
great idea, for real.
yes, the yacht. What
Sail the
Yeah.
is that
yacht.
the game? Is that Elden Ring that's making that growling noise?
What? Growling?
Or is that a cat?
No, it's
I think
not.
I hear
Acá
a
no.
cat.
Acá the volume is off. You think
Well,
that I would disrespect you, kind gentlemen? O sea, but with the volume up? Come on.
there's some sort of weird effect. Maybe it's just in my
I heard
earphones,
como
but
like it sounds like an engine. I hear like something like no,
He's playing Need for
yes.
Speed.
it's not here, bro. It's not in my house.
Do you hear it, Alex?
I don't hear it, and it's not from here.
I have the worst podcast angle in history. Like a tiny
Uh,
head and like a huge wall with
it's
nothing on it.
you. There's this guy, the Machine Lies. You actually like. It's very similar. He has long black hair. Always wears glasses though. And he's like hunched over, holding a microphone, like yeah. So I don't know. It's around even with the Machine Lies, but it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad angle, but
Hey,
interesting.
look,
You know,
look, this is a great idea. The van, you should do it for real. It's innovative.
Nomad Mobile Studios. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. It's this. So we just hire this guy, we kill him, we take the van. I'm just kidding. There you
He has
go.
no. Actually, there. That's not. It's just the stuff. You can just rent like a setup, mobile recording studio, van.
So the guy.
Yeah, I don't know how we built a studio in a van.
Gatico chico. Gatico alias el chico.
So here's a topic I wanted to run by Juan.
Yeah.
AI and AI art and AI and how it will impact artists and just your thoughts on that whole relationship of artists and artificial intelligence, and if it will be a thing of competition, or do you think it'll be a synchronous relationship that those two will have together?
Is that a question for me?
Just your thoughts
Yes.
on AI being utilized to create art and content, and how that might potentially impact content creators, and whether it will be a harmonious relationship, or one that where the content will be dominated by artificial intelligence.
I think you could look at it both ways. You can look at it from the positive perspective or the negative perspective, and that depends on the person. Like I see it as a tool that will continue to grow and will give benefit if you can find the benefit in it. If you see it as competition, then that means that you are not innovating as a creative. Being a creative means that you need to adapt to the times. And this is a part of the times. Like the people who are like fighting against it are people who are really scared of the times. They want to like, for example, music. They want to keep music as if it was in the 80s. The music industry wants to keep things as it was in the 90s and the 2000s. And well, it's like a chainsaw. You hear it? You hear the chainsaw?
It's weird, right? Every once in a
Yeah,
while.
like
Like, ah.
yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, like a cat groaning.
Hell, dude. Let's listen
It's
to it.
weird.
Let's handle. All right, it's gone. So like I think there it is again.
Phantom growl.
I don't know. Weird. Weird.
All right, anyways. So I think that it's a tool that will benefit people. You know, it will benefit like people who want to find benefit in it, and it will like also put a lot of people out of a job. It will also definitely make content or everything that you see out there. Man, I'm starting to see articles here in Colombia like written by AI. It's like so lazy. People are going to become. It's like the Wall-E situation. It's like people are so I don't, they're really, and the articles are really bad in quality, and that's the problem. It wasn't like that, you know. Like people are going to become lazier, and things are going to become more unreliable. I think you're going to have to like retreat more to like your inner world instead of like being so focused on the external, because like you're no longer very soon what they show you what AI can do, and what AI can actually do, you know, is very different. Like they show you a fraction of what it does actually. And I
Oh,
think that you know, like this is like a time to like really question truth and like, you know, have your own truth and like keep it close to home, you know, because like the external world is going to be a little bit weird, especially with people having like creative tools that enable them to do things that like would take a long time for somebody who went to school, for example, for 5 years to do. And now they're gonna like just type something and they're gonna have it. Like they're gonna have music, a movie, a film. It's like I want to be a film director immediately. They'll have a film. Like this is years from now. I want to like just create something. They'll have a 3D printer. It's like, oh, I want to have some, you know, it's going to be so easy that it's going to like turn a lot of things obsolete.
catalyzes things to one degree, right?
Sorry, can you repeat
Yeah.
that?
Catalyzes.
And no, my earbud is not in my pocket. Oh, I was just saying that, yeah, having AI at your disposal to generate images or sounds, I mean, it's a creative tool, like you said,
Yeah,
and the way it's utilized is what gives it its meaning. Is it can
yeah,
be used, it can be abused. It's all how you use it at the end of the day, and it could
yeah,
be used for good, and it could be used, to cut corners or as a robot slave.
yep, yep. Or the other way around, or the other way around. Like the AI could like eventually, like from a home, I think that like eventually it's going to get so smart that it's going to like realize this person without my help cannot like live to a certain age. So like they start probably like intervening like in their schedules through like their apps, health apps and everything, trying to make the human live longer so that like it can also be of service. You know, I think that that stuff is going to happen too, perhaps. And it's a benefit to the person too. It's actually like a symbiotic process. Like, you know, bad habits will die because of AI, for example.
Terrifying. We're gonna have to rely on machines to keep us alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
I mean,
But
I
that's the
think you're
thing.
right, though. Maybe
It's
some bad habits will get pushed aside, because they'll get trained out of you by the AI, which is so clever and trying to figure out how to get you to do what it wants you to do, and it has all the time in the world to think of ways to
Clockwork Orange.
persuade you. Yes. So
imagine the next wave of like tech doctors, you know, like this come out like something cool for like a comic book, like in Cyberpunk 2077. Like imagine like when we have all of these like punk doctors, you know, that are actually fascinated with biology and science, and they have the tools, for example, to like, oh, you know, like, you know, let's go against the system, and they develop this app like with the tools available in 20 years, where like every time that you smoke a cigarette, it shows you an image of how the whole smoke is entering your lungs and everything in real time, because they have like that tool. I don't know. It's imagine it's this pure futuristic nanotechnology stuff. I don't know. I'm just like making stuff from sci-fi. But I think that like that's the way that it could start, you know, like eventually there's going to be people who are going to be able to generate the tools to communicate messages like that. Somebody who hates cigarettes enough, they'll create apps, the website, videos, movies, etc., without, you know, a lot of budget. Like they'll just probably get a membership for like an AI generator, and that will like probably give them everything. That's like the future, you know, like AIgenerator.com. It's like, what do you want? I want a movie. It'll give you a movie. You know, people pay a membership like $25 a month, whatever you can get, whatever. It's like I need, I don't know, I need an essay because I'm like stuck at work. They'll give you an essay. It'll be
I was
just like a
thinking about that,
Google. Scary.
right now. You need a logo, AI can generate a logo now.
Yeah, yeah. But it's gonna be, I mean oversimplified, you know? Like take it without having to log in, without nothing. It's like it's gonna be each time more simplified. So it's gonna be like Google. Right now, like the people who are very aware of how of the functionality of like AI generators are people who are to a degree involved with technology. For example, my mom, she has no idea how. She's like, wow, you know that stuff. Like my dad, he's like, whoa. And there's people also my age here in this country that are fascinated by it, but have no idea how to get involved with it. Right now, the next step is when they like Google it. For example, like they Googlefy it, which is going to be just like what I took. It's like the oversimplification, and everybody's going to have access to it, and it's going to be wild because everybody, like you know, and that's the whole spectrum of the human population, all spectrum of ideas, from the bizarre to the bizarre to the bizarre, or as we'll see weird. The world is going to be very weird, bizarre,
It's already there.
strange thing. No, we you have, man, I can tell you that like I think that we have no idea
It's
because like
bad now, but
yeah,
it's gonna get much worse.
yeah, 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 the subconscious is what people like, I don't know, in my this I would say in like my how would you call this, in my spirituality, or in my I don't know. I don't know very well how to describe it. I would say that like what people they what they guard the most is their subconscious, because it's like their privacy and you never get to like really see it, and people portray themselves always, they'll always try to portray themselves under a light, under like, you know, I need to show myself in a certain way. People who lose that completely are very few. They've been fragmented either by psychedelics or personal experience or both or more things, and those are very few people, very few, because like there's a also I don't know, so like people are going to express a lot of things that we have. Oof, it's going to be just, I don't know, man, what people hold in their dark subconscious. It's going to be weird to see if it's already, if like we already see what they can put out there once there's no rules, because you know, how are they going to regulate certain stuff? Like there's stuff that's like going to be like, there's a lot of challenges that people don't know what's coming with AI, and also like 3D printing, you know, artificial, like the also not AI but AGI, which I think is artificial generalized intelligence.
Yes.
So that's like when we're gonna, like, you know, imagine like your computer. I was this crazy thing. I was looking at the, so my Elden Ring guy is alive, for example, and I go to work and I come back and he's like, "Hey, John, how are you? You know, like I read your serotonin levels in your phone. You need to like, let's play some dragons. You know, I just downloaded the download content that you wanted." It's like he's alive. That's gonna like detach us from reality, you know? Huh. You know, why have a real friend if your best friend is your character in Elden Ring? Like, there's gonna be a lot of people who don't need, like, you know, they're gonna like totally detach. It's gonna be weird.
And
Yeah, I mean there are these people now, right?
I
And
know, but
it's gonna go
more.
even farther and farther.
That's what I'm saying. Now imagine 10 years into the future, and you know, like the guy is like he has access. You give him access to all of your data, the character. So like you can live in the game forever. You know, for example, that's what that's gonna turn into, man. That's why it's so big. That's why they made it so big, and it's huge, because they know it's like, here we can get people, man, hooked así. They'll never leave their house. They'll never leave their homes. Y pues forever buying new controllers, new headphones.
Yes, they just have a subscription. You just
Taxation.
turn it off until they approve, and then there's at some point they just remove the approve button, and they just take.
Yeah.
There's no. It doesn't require your consent anymore. It
Yeah,
doesn't
after
require even the pretense of your acceptance.
look, I think that in the next couple of years, like memberships will dissolve. Like for example, in 3 4 years, they're gonna say, "Would you like a lifetime membership?" And people will say, like, "Yeah, sure. I'll just like for life. I'll have Netflix for life because like why not?" It's gonna be so normalized.
Wait,
You can have the membership, but we just need your data for the time that you're on the platform.
Oh, that too. Yeah, you just like say,
yes,
"Yes, I accept," and that's it. And everybody will be inside, and they just take everything.
you will own nothing, and you will be happy. Well, I mean, not that you really need anything to be happy. You don't need to own anything to be happy.
No, so I like that's kind of like for me, it's kind of like utopic view. So you if you're not with a roof and you don't have water and for a long time in this world, like it's different like in a sci-fi world, like yes, I will do it and I will battle the elements. But dude, if you're in Bogota without a roof for like 3 days or something, you're in trouble. Or so like like it's like stuff, for example, like there's places where those idealistic thoughts do not work at all. For example, here in Colombia at all. Like some of the things that like I see come out from quotes, motivational quotes written in the US, it's like, oh man, that sounds great, but that will never work in certain countries. Ever.
There's
You
this
will like
text does not apply in Bogota.
yes, yeah.
There it
No.
is.
Like and it's not only Bogota, it's like also places in the US and places in Europe, there's hard places everywhere. The world is a hard place. So you do need stuff.
Sudan.
Yeah, it's not like until you're like missing water that you're like, oh shit, man, I need water or a clean sweater. Once that starts smelling or rotting, you're like, man, I do need a clean sweater, man. I'm thankful for that sweater.
Yes. Yeah, like the problems that vanish with food shortages. You're like, oh,
Oof.
yeah.
That's what the
Something's
president
wrong.
said. That's what Petro said he was going to do here. He said he was going to get elected, and the first day he was going to give food to everybody. And it's been like almost a year since he got elected, and he hasn't given one apple
Of course not. Where's he gonna
ever.
get the food from?
And from the markets, from the private markets, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna take the people's money by force and use it to buy the crappiest apples that he can buy, and then give it back to them and keep the profits with his friends. Yes.
I think most of our apples are really good because they are brought from the US
Ah,
and Chile. You guys have great apples. I've been eating American apples since I'm a kid. Granny Smith.
oh yes.
Yeah, the Granny Smiths are good. Gala. I mean, thanks to
What?
Johnny Appleseed planting wonderful apples all over. I mean, it's such a great cold weather crop too. It's a great like mixed. You can grow an apple pretty much everywhere, and it
Does it grow
keeps for
here?
very long.
Does it grow here? Apple?
Sure, they grow in the high, like they grow on mountainsides and stuff like that. Not super high, but
Why
uh,
isn't it a business here in
there's
Colombia? Apples, like it's
Washington
very.
apples. It's a like famous for apples here.
You probably need, but you probably need a lot of space, like for the trees, right? So that they have
There's
roots, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's not. You don't need a whole lot of space. They can be fairly close to each other. Like I think 20 feet on center is not a lot.
How long do they take to produce the apples?
Uh, I remember. I mean, like 3 to 5 years before you're starting to produce well.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like older older trees I think that 3 to 5 years is correct.
So once the tree is big, like how long does it take to produce like apples? Man, these headphones, they have such a bad battery. I'm gonna have to buy like
4 to 8 years after being planted. I thought that's a little early. It's the dwarf apple trees that I'm thinking of. That's like 2 years of being planted. That's the small ones that are meant for that. Then yes, but if you're making a really big tree, I guess you need more time. But if you're investing, 10 years, you plant an orchard of apple trees on some of that beautiful soil, and in 10 years, you're producing like millions of pesos worth of apples.
yeah, well, the most important thing is that, like, it's like the experience of like seeing must be beautiful, having a forest of apple trees. Oof,
And there's the other
must be,
business that's part of it, the
wow.
bees that pollinate them, right? So you have bees that live in the orchard, and you have
So you
like
get honey.
chickens and stuff that eat
Good.
from underneath, and then they poop, and that is part of the permaculture. So the trees are fertilized continually, and bugs are kept down, and you have eggs from the chickens, and you have like chickens, and you have honey from the bees, and all of this stuff. It's like supplemental uh, products that are uh, they're byproducts or secondary products of the apple process. And then of course all the finished apples you'll do, make apple butter and preserve them, right? Because it's not just a fresh apple. The apple takes to preservation really well. Apple jam, apple
Yep.
butter, like the Amish. And you've had apple butter, right, Alex? It's like this
Yeah.
brown, it's like applesauce but super thick and very
Oh,
sweet. Yes, Ali. He's got to chuck it. The greatest ball ever created.
check it.
What's up? Yeah, dogs love him, man.
What a great companion.
Yes. And there's a cat hanging out there
So,
too, Gaia.
so the word on AI is just it's a tool, and it's all about how humanity applies it. You know,
Yes, for me, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, why worry, right? Why are you going to worry?
I
Like,
mean, well, look at Chat GPT, right? It seems like the parameters that are set for artificial intelligence is really what informs its, how it operates. Why worry about the parameters and worry about the programmers that are setting the parameters. That's
Yeah.
the worry. The human factor, the human bias is a worry, and the
Always.
always always a worry that it'll be weaponized first and foremost. That's
Mm.
generally how technology even just develops to begin with.
Well, I mean, they
Oh,
use it for porn first, usually. Any technology they find, they try to do something like
man,
that's. It was the same
look,
way with VHS. That's why VHS won over Betamax. The
hmm,
DVD was used by porn producers. That's how it got so popular. Because you could have multiple angles and stuff stored on that. There's the the base desires of humanity have driven everything that they do, every technology. So like,
sure. It could also be a psyop. I mean, pornography is used as a psyop, like during the war, where
yes,
sometimes a country is just like flooded with pornography. And it impacts the civilization and their
yes.
motivation and their willingness to submit, perhaps. It's got to
mm,
influence people. Even I feel like even the whole the sex culture, the sex work culture in the United States is like impacting the culture and tradition of just people and their morality and
mm.
their approach to families and just having children and developing healthy children without mental pathologies. Struggle
Yes.
everywhere. You know.
Yes. If you can kill your enemy's soldiers in the crib or in their own homes without them knowing it was you.
Or
If
through
you can get,
ideology, right?
yes,
It's like inception,
hmm,
ideological subversion.
demoralization.
Hmm. Yeah, psyops are real, man. I'm telling you,
Yes. Yes.
psychological operations are happening on people every day, and I mean, media. It's a tool, right? It's also a
Sure.
tool. It's useful.
Sure.
It's like this is where people get their news, what they how it informs their worldview.
Yes.
How daunting is that? It's like here's something that'll shape the way that you will interact with reality.
Yes.
Either it's either the state, right, or the religious aspects, or the religious authorities generally. It's one
Yeah,
of
there
those.
it's a moral institution, either a secular or faith-based moral institution, but it's somebody that makes the laws, makes the rules. Somebody's calling the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's
How similar those two are, politicians and religious institutions,
yes.
always informing people's paradigms.
Hmm. Well, religion is a great tool to be misused and twisted and turned like anything else. I mean, I guess when we say religion, yeah, got to be more specific.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's a lot different ones are used different ways.
Absolutely.
But,
But we're seeing, do you feel like there are new religions popping up that are modern or something similar to a religion that maybe
you
isn't?
mean Mormonism?
No, no, I mean like modern religions in modern society that aren't necessarily termed religious, but seem like they're ideologies.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
What?
Like religious, just meaning a thing that you and a group of people all agree on the rules of and what it means and what is valuable to you. It's a set of values, and that informs how to act in life. And you know, all of the politics stuff is the same thing. Like, oh, you should do this. You should. Conservatives will say like, oh, you should have a family and like work hard and stuff like this, and the the left progressives will say, no, just follow your bliss, do what you want to do. If you want to like live on the street and you know shoot heroin in the middle of the day or smoke meth in front of high school kids, then you know do that, and that's because society is bad to you. Well, it's a worldview, I guess. A religion has a worldview in it, so the all the elements are there for a religion, for these political cadres, I guess. Just like a group of ideas to organize people towards some sort of common goal, maybe.
Yeah.
Except whose goal is it? Whose goal? Because it's not a common goal, because you can't have one goal, everyone has the same goal. No.
Sure you can. Let's look at a few. Global warming initiatives, green energy initiatives,
Hmm. Yes.
COVID pandemic response initiatives.
There's a
Pretty
certain group
crazy,
of
no?
people that helps.
Pretty
There are certain
amazing how
people.
quickly the world unified to rapid fire produce propaganda
Yeah,
like
that's
on
something we're
blast.
so good at. And
That was
l-
impressive.
AI could probably help with that as far as producing
Oh man,
convincing propaganda materials,
terrifying.
posts,
Yeah, make it and it'll actually be convincing at this point.
convincing enough. That's enough to muddy
Convincing
the
enough.
waters. Just the
Yeah.
fact that it exists, the fact that it could be AI, has already muddied the waters enough that people will doubt and disengage. And a
Yes.
population that's disengaged isn't really even looking, right? And
Unaware.
isn't trying to stop and doesn't have their hands anywhere near the levers of power. And that's perfect. That's an acceptable outcome. And it serves the purpose of those people who do want to work the levers.
Now, for a perspective,
Please.
I think that this has always been the same. Always. There's always been organisms in power, there's been hierarchies, and that is the law of the land on this earth.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I think that philosophizing is a beautiful gift that is given upon us by life itself so that we can realize things for life itself. What we are to become, whoever like speaks with certainty of that, well, they're very convinced of their own reality, which is great. But I'd rather be humble and say that I have no idea. And I think that like the organisms of control will always exist. They're necessary, for example, in our bodies. Like you and I would talk a lot about biology, and it's like there's these organisms of control are necessary. Like uh, if there is, for example, miscommunication between cells, that's where you have issues, for example. So, like organisms of control for transport, like that the blood flows in the direction that it needs to flow. Certain things that are like so important, that like, perhaps are elusive, but are there. And I think that like governments, the governments of each country having its own like karma or path or whatever. You're born where you're born for a reason. Like it has a set of lessons, and then you die.
Now, see, that's a worldview right there.
Yeah.
You're born where you're born, and you have a set of things to learn, and then you die. So it's not your choice. It's and inherent in that is there's so much to unpack from that as well. To use a tired phrase, but
We're also talking about
man,
Fauci.
yes, it has always been this way. I
Powers that
think.
powers that be that haven't necessarily always been in power, but have subjected power over people and stripped people of their rights rather than
Yes.
assisting them or helping them in some way, shape, or form, but through the guise of help, assistance, safety.
Mm. Yes. Yes. For your own good.
There's a difference
For your own
between
good.
respecting authority and kind of protecting one's rights. Because
Mm.
with this legalistic new society that we live in, it seems like you can sign away your rights very easily.
Yes. Horrible.
And at a younger and younger age.
Oh
Amen.
yes, indeed. So it's like
Oof.
it's being influenced by technologies, agencies being influenced by social factors,
Mm.
institutions. I feel like it's really necessary in these times.
Yeah, this is pre-cyberpunk. Everything that's happening is pre-cyberpunk. We're pretty much there, and us, we get to see like the both the parasitic collision of man with machine and also the symbiotic collision of man with machine. Like it's going to be
Right.
dual. And it's going to be, and that's going to have tons of implications because it unravels. Like imagine, like yeah, I don't know this man. I find it so sad. You know what they're doing, like the Neuralink thing with the chimps and all of that stuff. It's so sad that they're subjecting Well, I'm, it's what the world is filled with stuff, So el caso.
Man-made
Eh,
horrors beyond my
yeah,
comprehension.
but also what they're trying to do when you think about the concepts, of what they're trying to do and they're trying to unravel, like to actually be able to, I used to talk about this like just like messing around in the at school, man. That's years and years ago, of like that you could potentially like, put your brain like on a dock, you know, like you'd be able to like upload your stuff, and that's what he wants to do. And he's close in a way, or I don't know, like whatever. Like he seems to like I read a lot of stuff, and it seems that like they decipher stuff on the daily. They're like pumping money to that. I don't know, man. Humans
Yeah,
playing, trying to figure out stuff that's like pretty complex, and I don't know. It's gonna backfire. We're like, and people like us are gonna be like, just like we talked about it many years ago. We're gonna see a lot of things
yes.
backfire. Society's gonna be weird. Like also like I play a lot of cyberpunk games, like with the motif, and there's like a lot of they utilize a lot in well, not only games, but in cyberpunk art. They utilize the I'm sure you've seen it, like the overweight guy in a couch with like the VR set drooling, it's like an archetype of
Yeah.
like addicted to like a digital addict. It's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
I
tough.
think I don't know if they'd even be if they'd be fat, right? Because there'd be some sort of pill where you have to stay on it because they'll make people want it in a way, and they wouldn't
Well,
be
that's
getting
true,
enough
yes.
nutrients to get fat,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true too.
Like
So a
so
forced health for you to consume. So like they make
yes,
you healthier with an algorithm, and your phone, for example, iPhone 17, premium package 29.99 a month, and like it keeps you healthy because it monitors everything with your Apple Watch 6, mentiras, 10, and it monitors everything, and don't worry about your health ever again, just like pay Apple and they'll give you coverage,
everyone could
so
have a
so you can
gastric
continue.
bypass surgery, and it just like
Yeah,
they eat it and it goes down and it goes into like a little container and it they
like
can take the
nanobots,
container out. Well,
like nanobots. Yeah.
no, they don't even digest it. They just get the pleasure of eating without consuming the food, and they just
Uh,
remove the food.
oh, I thought that like a surgery that was like a capsule and you swallowed it and it opened and it had nanobots and it would surgery and then you would like poop it and that's it. Como
Yeah,
disposable surgery.
no, that's happening too. Yeah,
That
yeah,
would be crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
like also dental cleaning, like nanobots. You just put them in, they clean, and you just spit them out. Unless one goes rogue. Oh,
There's also like having them build tissue
yeah,
where
yeah.
you like
Like yeah, it threats
has
it, like
stem
in Fifth Element.
cells
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah,
it's like three. It's like
yeah,
tissue printing. Yeah,
yeah. That was a 3D printer. Is what that's exactly what that a
yeah, yeah.
molecular 3D printer.
And I've actually, there's like, I've seen a lot of stuff on the, there's like this subreddit for futurism, and they post like a lot of weird stuff, and that stuff has already, like, I think all that stuff, they're already been like doing it for a while, like skin printing. I've seen examples of like years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
So we're on the verge of like seeing, like some Blade Runner stuff, very close. Like
I'm
we're
sure
here
there's
already, but
horrific human animal machine hybrids in China somewhere.
oh yeah, bro, yeah,
In a
Sure,
yeah.
lab.
there's horsemen.
Like Cygor in Spawn. You know Cygor? You ever watch? You know that comic book Spawn by Todd
Oh, Spawn.
McFarlane?
Spawn, I know, but not. I don't
Yeah.
know the
Yeah. So
cyborg.
he has an enemy called Cygor, which is like a modified, like a machine gorilla.
Oh yeah, I
It's like
see.
it's like a government weapon. Also, like supposedly, like the Jurassic Park movie was supposed to involve like militarized dinosaurs, but like they tested it with the public and it was too much.
Let's get Juan's perspective on space travel and NASA and the moon.
Oh wow,
Yes.
Love to hear the
that's so well. That's man.
Let's get into celestial geometry.
yes, into space.
Yeah, man, that's so deep. Like that's such a deep question.
No, Alex he swings for the fences, man.
Yeah, man, I see. It's very cool. Like, what do you think about it? So I'm interested in what you think about it.
A lot
What do you think
about it.
space is?
I think a lot about it, and I mean, we all think a lot about it based on the information that we get, right? And the information that we get is mostly from NASA, and we look
Yeah,
at NASA as an institution, as a public service that, United States taxpayers are paying for. There's a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of fuckery, If you look at the receipt, if you look at the fact that daily they're being paid $70 million, like what are they doing with that money? Like they haven't done anything of substance in over 50, 60 years. So where is
They're
that
smoking it. Yeah.
$70 million a day? Where's it going? How is it benefiting humanity? When we talk about, it's a pride thing. It's an identity thing for Americans to be tied to being the first nation to have sent a man to the moon. And that's why they're so reluctant to even consider that it might not have happened, right? If you tell anybody, hey, do you think we went, and do you think people have been on the moon? And if they'll be like, yes, of course, it was there was media around it, there's the meme. They'll think of the memes that were imprinted, right? Whether it's the little news clips, the black and white photos, they'll see in their mind that they'll see the footprint or a photo of the footprint or the flag or the rover or something. It's like, of course we were on the moon, right? It's like I know because I was told, and they were told. So it's like this telephone line of information. And when you get to the very core of it, and you realize that that institution might not be as trustworthy as we might imagine or we would want it to be, then of course you start asking questions. It's inevitable. At least any reasonable person would. So
Mm-hmm.
asking somebody what their thoughts are regarding these topics gives me an outline of what they have considered or haven't considered, and how they filter information into their worldview, their paradigm. So I guess that's why I ask.
Well, I ate something to get energy for the answer. This is a cool conversation. But since I have so many opinions about it, well, sometimes I enter into like very long trains of thought. I'll try to like just make it into a conversation because it's just like such an in-depth topic. I think that we don't know anything because the thing is that everything that we believe we know are man-made systems, right? Like they're based on man-made tools and yes, man-made interpretations of even mathematics, which if we analyze them, well, they're divine and they have all these proportions. And yes, of course, the circle and the square and the triangle and, all this stuff. But it's still man-made interpretation, right? Like I think that like an alien species could arrive at any moment from any direction because there's not only like north, south, east, and west like us. Could be like from anywhere, in all this empty space, and just say, "Hey, you got mathematics all wrong," or you got medicine all wrong or physics all wrong. And we're like, but why? Look at what we've built. And they're like, yeah, but they would show you like all the flaws we've had throughout the ages, like in an instant, and you'd be like, oh shit.
Maybe
Because
we're in the wrong dimension. We're sending the wrong signal. Like we're saying, sending radio waves. Maybe we need to be sending something different
yeah,
metric.
or music or jazz.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Carl Sagan put like I think one of the French suites or a partita from Bach on that gold record that went out there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there's something. Wasn't there also the Beatles they put on there?
Hmm.
So yeah, maybe the universe needs a little bit more music. So let's make
Or a
some music
Tesla.
or a Tesla. Yeah, that's what space needs. A fucking electric car.
Space Jam.
Yeah, garbage. Yeah. But the problem is that he is so ignorant and so egotistical that it's like he's discarded a lot of things that seem to be logical from, I don't know, my subjective logic, like, and that's why I'm saying it's so subjective, because what the hell can I tell you? As like you say, oh, they told me we went to the moon. Like, who? Like, I don't even know these people personally, like, ever. I'll never know. Oh no, it was on the news. When? like
Yeah.
like years ago? Like, what the hell? Eh,
You asked him to show the data. It's like, show me what what indicates that you were there. And then when you analyze that, and all the red flags come up, and you're like, wait a second, this story, this
yeah,
narrative, so thin.
Didn't they just crash something
yeah.
onto the moon?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
yeah, like, yeah, it was like a drone. I think it crashed. Like, they actually went in too fast. And the video on Reddit, people, the comments were saying that they were really upset, that like you could feel in the room, like, oh no, like we went all the way there and we on the landing and too fast,
And
man.
and
You're
muffed the
telling me
landing.
in 1969, on technology less than an iPhone, they were able to
Yeah,
land.
A bunch of
And
black women in a quiet room did the calculations on pen and paper with a slide rule and got us to the moon. And the Japanese today can't get there.
yeah, the
Okay.
Japanese. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. They didn't have calculators back then. They got some pretty good calculators now.
Yeah, man.
They're pretty good.
like you'd think space travel would have improved in the last 50 years enough
Mm-hmm.
to have a moon base or some sort of correspond some sort of zip line. I don't know. From the moon to the Earth.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
space elevator. You've heard of space elevators?
No.
sure. But I think the even the if it was a very thin line, the amount of surface area that it has, so
It
the
would snap.
force, the
Yeah,
torque pressing against it of atmospheric gusts,
it
some
would
of them
snap.
are
It would snap. There's also another thing. Like, a lot of this, like outer space is a mystery. Like, if you think about it, like when you go underwater, like, immediately something tells you, I'm not meant to be here. Like, I'm from the land, right? Because there's like a lot of things, like you can't breathe, and also like atmospheric pressure starts, like you're like, I'm definitely not here. So like when you go to space, it's the same thing. Like, as you go up in the air, the same thing with a plane. Like, when you're in the plane, I don't like planes. I'm thankful for planes, but I don't like them because I'm not supposed to be there. I'm not a bird. I'm supposed to be in the land, watching the sky, smelling the grass with my dog, who also dwells in the land. Simple, simple
know your
rules. Like, people
place.
want to,
Yeah.
yeah, they want to explore some. It's like, oh, I want to go to the. What are you gonna do in the moon, Elon? You're gonna find como like stuff to make more cell phones here, or it's going to cost him a shitload of money to transport them back to Earth. It's delusional. The guys, it's just the people listen to delusional people today, man. Like,
Why
it's
you want to
just,
go to the moon, Elon?
yeah,
2023 with artists, okay? It's on the website. There's a Japanese billionaire who's paying for the trip, and he's taking 12 artists with him, and they're gonna document the space flight, and I guess rep create some sort of art that's supposed to be representative of their space flight around the dark side of the moon.
For
well,
whom?
So
For
here's
whom to view?
odds.
for them,
Odds,
for them,
guys, I'm telling you, if it
Steve
happens,
Aoki's going.
if it happens in
obviously.
2023, I will eat my hat. But I'm just saying, it's I just do not think. I think there's like a 10% chance of it actually happening, but they're not going to change it though. That's the funny part. They're not going to change the time frame or update it. So it's like, what's going on here? What's with? Is it like a propaganda? I mean, when you think about the actual intent of the space race in the 60s, 70s, it was very much propaganda oriented. To be first in that space race meant a lot for the United States and or for Russia, to the degree that they allocated so much resources, so much time, so much like effort to be able to do this. That's such an odd goal. That's such an odd goal for a species to have. That's like if dolphins just all decided, hey, like how we're like always in the water, maybe we should like, you know, learn to fly, It's like maybe we should build. That's like if dolphins built a plane, just like underwater. They built a plane underwater and then they actually got it to fly. Like that's
Yes,
such an odd goal for a
with their
species like
flippers.
humans. And you're right, for people to feel out of place, in space. Whenever I go mountaineering with Eugene, I'm up in the mountains. And I'm like on a sheet of ice, just like looking down, and I go, I do not belong here. Like, I'm wearing like the crampons or the spikes on my shoes, and I'm going up like this insane slope, and I'm like, of course I'm not supposed to be up here for very long. Like, it just you feel you don't belong there.
It's hostile,
Yeah, yeah.
inhospitable.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but I mean, Mother Nature is very cruel, and
If you go outside the rules, that's for sure. Like, don't go
yeah.
too high, don't go too low. Stay on the
Hmm.
dry parts. You got to do this, you got to do that. Don't get into a volcano, dumbass. You know, like careful in the ocean.
Although
Ri-
I I,
Look,
I saw a segment by Hamilton Morris. I think he was the guy who
Hamilton's
uh
pharmacopoeia.
yes, he interviewed a guy who he had an LSD lab inside of a volcano. He had a big piece of land with like a volcano on it, and he like drilled into the volcano and had an underground LSD lab where, sorry, not LSD. They were making MDMA, and
Oh,
they were making
MDMA.
tons of MDMA from the underground volcano. And I don't know if he was ever caught, but pretty impressive place for a MDMA lab, huh?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well. You might as well go all the way. I mean, either that or be a supervillain, right? Like which one? Which are you gonna do? Are you
Super
gonna
villain.
make MDMA, or are you going to like create a volcano base, or a moon base? Like all of these things are, or like a high top mountain, all snowy peaks. These are
Yeah.
all James Bond villain locations. The villain goes where they're not supposed to, under
Oh
the
my
deep
God.
sea, under like the undersea base. I mean, Doctor No, kind of like that.
It's where
Yeah.
he's difficult to reach. That's why they go there.
Yeah.
I have a great
Not
idea
because they're
now.
not supposed to.
I know how to stop the Ukraine-Russia war. We get $100 million. How much was spent already? Like $1 trillion? Hundred? I don't know. There's so many zeros.
What, from all countries or just from the U.S.?
Just from the US. Just whatever was what, like 100. I want to say million, but I know it's probably like trillion. It's- So we take that amount or even half that amount, or even a quarter of that amount, right? It's probably around like 150 trillion dollars or some shit like that.
Yeah, more than 75 billion,
Okay, so
according
it's
to the
billion.
Council on Foreign Relations.
Okay, so take half of that and just we purchase that amount worth of MDMA, and we just airdrop that on the
Yeah,
front
80
line.
billion of MDMA.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, with like well, we used to do leaflets. We go to German, drop leaflets in German towns, and the British would do this a lot. They'd leafleting campaigns, to subvert the local population or
Oh,
to undermine the morale. Like say, oh, the war is over. Like, oh, these were accidentally dropped. Like those. Tons of there's
smart.
tons of things, little propaganda bits. But yeah, that would help. Or they could just send fentanyl into the country by the ton.
God.
Oh wait, they're already doing that.
Crocodile.
Yes, crocodile. Yeah, that's also not good. None none of it is. But
What a
hey, when
strange and
people are
post-pandemic world we live in, huh? Seems like that was a stepping stone into a another world,
yes, well,
the new abnormal. Hmm.
the new abnormal. I like that. Yeah, this is definitely abnormal. Chaos is really good for if things are all shaken up, then uh, people can grab power. They can consolidate things when everyone's distracted and
Hmm.
all that. So it's good for somebody.
Interesting. Power shifting, yes.
Yeah, vodka doesn't seem to help with the war effort in stopping it, but maybe MDMA would. Maybe just like a bunch of edibles. Like everyone would be too terrified to leave the foxhole. Like they don't, they can't do it. I'm just gonna lay here,
Really
you know,
hungry.
eat my rations. And why are we
Eat
doing
your
this? And
MRE.
like drink Grand Marnier. Yeah, yeah.
Better than tanks, you know?
I
'Cause
mean,
it's like if
I,
you're at a point where you're receiving and sending tanks, it's like, oh shit, this isn't good. This is like, there's Vedic traditions or Vedic texts talking about Vimanas, which were these flying craft. And these are texts from like 6, 7, 8, 9, 12,000 years ago, Vedas, and it talks about Vimanas. And if you look up like Vimanas, there's actually like diagrams of them, and they look like UFOs. They look like they have an engine. They look like they're aerodynamic.
hmm,
So the
flying palaces or
Yeah, actually,
chariots.
like the Mahabharata, like is one of the epics of India, and it talks about like a huge epic war where like there would be lasers and everything. So pretty much Arjuna was like the prince, like he was like Krishna's small ally. Like he would shoot. Well, the description is like like a space battle. Like
nice.
like an alien battle, pretty much. It's like if you analyze like a lot of the like Hindi folklore, like the like Shiva and Rama, like they're these epics, like they are definitely like more than human, and it's very similar to a lot of the indigenous stories of many parts of the world where you have these heroes. Yeah, also in Greece and all of that stuff. Like here in Latin America, we have a lot of indigenous like things that are related to things that are very I would say, metaphysical beliefs of cultures that have nothing to do with us. It's like parallels. Like for example, that whole like Rama, like being a prince, blue, meditative, a yogi, all that stuff against como this demon. That's what is that? Like it's biblical, right? Like the same thing is parallels. So
Hard
something
right.
happened here. I think that like I think that like something happened here on Earth. It's documented, and we can't conceive it today because like imagine those temples. You've seen the temples. Like I've seen that there's some temples all around the world that are just incredible, and they're built like in the middle of nowhere. You've seen like these statues like in the middle of like no. It's like how did they do that? Like
Yes, dude. That's an amazing
incredible.
thing to look into. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
the
ever
star
looked at
forts.
not just Star Force, but the Empire, the I'm talking about the Tartarian Empire. It seems like there are buildings all over the earth with a very similar architecture.
Yes.
Possible that, one culture built that architecture, and a lot of that architecture survived thousands of years, and people rediscovered it or
Yes.
discovered it and adopted those buildings and used them as just government buildings now, honestly. Because there's maps that were discovered of America, right? Before, this is pre Christopher Columbus, and it had castles on the maps, so there were buildings there already, like when they arrived.
Yeah, like the Amazon is supposedly filled with pyramids. Like just that like what happened, like there's so many I've heard like me being from here, like I see a lot of the stuff that like how other countries look, most of the media is US based, like, and it's US based and it has hubs around the world, so they have an interpretation of how of like the folklore of local folklore, and yes, they talk to local people, but it's very different when you're from there. It's like, for example, Nick understands his genetic and como se dice, his lineage very well because it's his, right? And you too, for example, your background, it's very specific. So, like what I feel from being from here is that like history has been covered. Like I think that like there's like something like museum, like for example, there's a reason why they have most of the most important artifacts made of gold are kept in a government building, the Museum of Gold here next downtown in Bogota, because like according to like the elders of the tribes, if they had that, they would be able to communicate with beings with the lagoons and stuff, and the government doesn't want that. But you don't want that in the news because they say, oh no, it's a bunch of people who just take ayahuasca, let's just not listen to them. But who knows what was happening before, like before the Spanish came here, because this is a weird land, like just look, man, this is a world where we have animals like the platypus and the anaconda and the jaguar, like it's a weird planet. Like who knows what's happening here? Like it's just a mystery. And I
Hmm,
think that
interesting.
history has been covered up. So like civilizations in the Amazon, supposedly, like when they arrived, like and it wasn't the Spanish who arrived first. Actually, the Vikings supposedly came before. Something they talk about that before, that there was contact from other places before, and there was trade and whatever. And it's just that like that part is not talked about, like because these were big civilizations, big with huge cities like Mexico, like the pyramids, Mexico.
Absolutely. The more, we look into history, the more some of these claims about these buildings, they just don't hold up.
Yeah, no
They're just,
match. Yeah,
you look at some of these incredible buildings that seem like they're from the old world, and you look at their histories, Usually, it just does not make sense. Sometimes that they claim to have been built in like a year or two, and this is like 18, 1700s, 1600s, where it's just, horses and there's no roads. How are they moving these things? How are they getting, these massive stones up, flights of stairs? It's just so impractical and so lavish for the time, for like the 18 or 1700s, for them to be building buildings of this immensity when the population doesn't even account for it. Like there's not even a high population. I mean, especially in the United States, for a lot of the state capitol buildings, like there's no reason to have been building such lavish buildings during that time frame. The Tartarian Empire. Look into it, gentlemen. Tartarian Empire and
Like,
Tartarian architecture. That's another thing to consider looking into, because there's a definite correlation of very similar style of architecture all over the world, and it's not just in the United States. It's all over Europe. It's all over Africa. It's all over Asia. It's all over the world.
yeah, I'm a fan of their sauce.
Tartar
Is
sauce?
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to eat it with shrimp when I was a kid.
Yes. It's good with frozen fish planks as well. If you have a bland white fish, it's excellent at masking the flavors of suboptimal seafood. It's really good at that. It's nice on a burger too, because like relish, it's like pickles, so it's kind of like sour in a way, but also sweet. Yeah, just like the people.
Very good people.
The people. The people.
Tartarians.
All
Yeah,
right. I'm going to be here for half an hour more and then I'm going to sleep, bro. Bros.
All right.
Yes,
Yes,
not.
we're almost at the
We,
the
we need
3 hour
a quote
mark.
from you, though. We do need a quote from you if there's something
Yes.
that comes to mind. Juan, we'd love to hear whatever's been ruminating in the corridors of your mind. Anything that you'd like to share with us, you're welcome to. But for now, let's see what else has been something we need to cover. Excellent haircut, Nikolai.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. It's self inflicted. This
Oh
haircut.
wow, well done. That must have been fun. Mirror or no mirror?
I mean,
So
I'm
did you
standing in
decide
front
what
of it. Yes.
it was on purpose, right? The Clark Kent here kind of thing?
Oh, I mean that. No, this is just where it. That's where it falls. Like, there's nothing I could do about that, and it's
That's
the weight that
called,
it has.
in Spanish, it's called un mechón.
Un mechón.
What does
Yeah,
that mean?
like el mechón, como una mecha,
What does that word mean?
like a wick.
Wick?
Ah, yes. Okay, like for a candle.
Yeah.
Yes, una mecha. Mechón, like a big wick.
Also hair, like it's like las mechas, como cortese las mechas, ñero. But very
Yeah.
colloquial, very colloquial.
Yes.
All right, so let's figure out what that noise is before. Like, what
I
is that?
think I think it's the sound of echo cancellation software responding to the sounds of our voices because it trails off after somebody stops speaking.
Sound of one hand clapping.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Hey, where did Matthew go? Se fue y no volvió. He didn't come back ever.
No, he didn't come back. I think
He fell asleep.
he probably ascended
Probably still
To the
talking to
cosmos.
us, but he's talking
To
to
this
somebody.
day, he's still talking. No, he said he was very tired, so I'm pretty sure
Okay.
he's he's asleep now.
He's an intense individual.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mission oriented.
yeah. He was very excited about sharing his stuff, which is very cool to like be able to listen to because I know how that feels when like you have people who listen. He seems to like really want to talk about his guitar, so it's cool that he has people because there's people who don't have that, you know. So it's tough.
Yes.
It's a language, you
Nobody to
know.
listen.
You know, some people speak the language. Some people don't.
Yes. Some
Of
people just
intensity.
like to hear the sounds, even though they don't know what's being said. Like watching a foreign film. So sometimes you can just enjoy the sounds of it. Like I don't know what they're saying, but it sounds cool, or like I'm enjoying it anyway, or you're into the visual and you don't have to get all of it. Maybe it's like that for some people. To be positive, I guess. Some people get annoyed when you go on and on. That's why I'm very glad for this venue. Listening is that's that's the coin of my realm anyway. So freely
Click the button.
freely give as
Yes.
you have freely received.
That's the
Hey, is
Bible
there
says.
any way that you can like see the gameplay whilst I like because it that would be fun, right? Because like
Oh,
you guys don't play Elden Ring, so it's like it's cool. It's like has weird worlds and weird art and cosmic
Well,
stuff.
you could point the phone at the screen
that'd be
Oh
the only
yeah,
way.
with the
yeah,
back
man.
camera.
Wow, man. Wow,
Walk
wow,
us, walk us through your
Producer, look
world.
at this. Look at this, huh?
Look at that. You're on a
wow.
horse.
Very lo-fi. That's cool. Like, oh man, riding a horse in a video game is very fun. It's so much less taxing than riding one in real life.
Yeah,
But it
I'm
also,
sure.
but you don't get like the wonderful sounds of the horse. There are so many great sounds. Like the hooves are
Yeah.
fantastic, but like the breathing sounds of the horse are so
That.
good. Like, yeah, very nice. Gonna take a buff up. What is that hat that you're wearing? It looks like Aladdin wearing a carpet
Oh my God,
going
he's
to,
fighting a pterodactyl. He's
and
fighting
he's
an.
running away from you.
Oh,
Take that. Take
must
that.
slay the pterodactyl. You're on fire. What a world.
Yeah, you just run around. Like it's an interesting interaction to be able to move around and just assume that everything around you is you should probably try to kill it because it's gonna try to kill you. It's a it's kind of comforting in a way where you know that everything is hostile as opposed to like in the human world you don't really know by looking at you can't assume that things are hostile or
Well,
that individuals.
that used to be the case, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You ruined it.
That's a cool animation that it shows you lifting up the door
Yeah. Little
and those
details.
ghostly images. What are those ghostly images? The
There are
white,
other
that's
players.
other players in the game. Right, right, right. Interesting. It's a very large sword, extremely impractical. Look at the size of that thing. Cool design. It looks like the sort of thing you would use on horseback, because you
The
like
curve. Yeah.
run through it, the curve, less fatigue. The chippity chop chip. It's cool that the corpses go away because, boy, this would be very very difficult to navigate the game with all of the dead clogging everything up.
Gonna step
Oh
over
wow.
one.
Look at this map.
Look at this map. Tartaria.
Basically, it's huge, man.
Yeah,
And
it's
can you
it's
just
like
like keep going?
Can I what?
Can you just like keep going in there? Are those light colored ones towards the outside, or those
This is probably DLC here,
okay.
and this probably gonna be DLC. Probably here DLC. This might be DLC.
Yeah, that's
This
what we
might
were
be
talking
DLC.
about the other day about programmatic landscape creation, that your game could basically be infinite if within the like procedural creation of landscape, like as the character moves, something within whatever distance you set within the game, like whatever's visible to them would be created on the fly with some sort of random. It's a mountain, it has a height, right? There's a z height, and that kind of stuff. It could be done with an algorithm instead of handmade. It has this type of ground, has this certain amount of plants on it, and based on what's around it, the AI would calculate what's likely to be here. If you're a bunch of rocks, you're more likely to have more rocks, and as you have less rocks, you're less likely to have that, and more. Maybe there's a puddle, you get some water. If you're at a certain Z level, then your likelihood for water increases, and you could just move forever in the game without having to pre-build a map. Everywhere you go, you can go, and then it becomes a function of transportation, which is how these open world games seem to be, like Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov, like all of those. It's like a running simulator, like you're just moving by foot to, or in a vehicle to some other location, which is a lot of the game as well. Like Grand Theft Auto was like that, you know. It's it's a driving game. GTA is a driving game with occasional shooting.
Pretty much.
So Elden Ring is a walking game with occasional stabbing.
Torch play.
Yeah, some torch play.
Does
Yes.
not get tired of killing people.
No.
He slayed like 3 dozen people so far. Crazy
Are you
animal.
farming right now? Are you XP
No,
farming?
no. I'm actually I'm gonna beat this boss.
Pillaging and
Here he is.
there we go. Oh, you
Okay,
gotta
so
get a
you
crest.
powered up your sword. Yeah, I guess that attack you need to get out of the way of.
So much taller.
Yes. And he uses magic. But
There
there
you
you
go.
go. That wasn't that hard. And now you get his stuff, right? So you kill him and take his stuff. Yes. So this game is socialist. You're just redistributing the wealth. You can dual wield as well. It seems so impractical.
Yeah.
And this guy's hat, it's like a bowl. It's a singing bowl on his head. Lost grace discovered.
Yes. The whole game is about following grace.
Uh-huh.
I already know what that sound is. Alex is listening through his speakers. Are you?
Nope. have
No?
headphones.
Then Nick is listening through his speakers. No?
No, I'm not. I have my. This is how I listen, and this
Mine
is.
isn't
Yeah.
here.
That's how I talk. Yeah.
All right, let me find a quote. Unless Juan, do you have a quote that you want to share with us? Anything word oriented?
Anything what oriented?
A quote.
Quote from a book. A
Yeah,
quote.
Vince McMahon.
Right. Lay it on us, man.
Vince McMahon says, "Life sucks, then you die."
Life sucks, then you die.
Pretty realistic. Like it's like, he's seeing life as a billionaire, so it's like, hey, don't take it so seriously. Live a good life, be happy.
Hmm.
Because it could all just end in a second, you know.
Yes. Vince McMahon.
Was he?
You weren't
Was
expecting that, huh?
who did
No.
he? Was he the guy who started WWF?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he is.
Where is he now? They should do it. Where is he
He's the,
now?
he's the owner. It's like still the owner, and he just sold it to the UFC.
Ah.
He sold it to the UFC.
Yeah,
Holy crap! Nobody saw that coming, huh?
no, nobody.
Yeah, but people want to see. It would be interesting to see wrestlers, because wrestling is a theatrical enterprise that's highly athletic, and MMA is an athletic enterprise that is not really theatrical. I mean, they have some elements like they meet
Well,
each
there
other,
is now.
like where they look at each other in their face and they put their heads together and hoof,
Yeah.
hoof, the weigh in, right? That's the most theatrical element of USC, and the rest of it is athletic.
The
Right?
rest
So
is
maybe
death.
if they blend the two,
Yeah.
where it's like not as theatrical as WWF and maybe not as athletic as MMA, or they just increase the drama in the MMA,
They should just
or they
mix. They should have
That's already
some.
happening. Look for a guy called Colby Covington. That's like the next generation. Like the first guy was Conor McGregor. He was like the first WWE kind of guy. His style was very like, I'm not a fighter anymore. And then, well, before him there was a couple, but he was like the first big, like
King.
big, yeah. And then like we have Colby Covington and Masvidal, Jorge Masvidal, who just retired, and he's probably gonna go to the WWE to retire. He's gonna like be wrestling until he's 60, you know.
Good. Yeah, that's fitting for Masvidal.
Yeah,
What
so
about?
that's also it's great for the UFC fighters that retire. They can go and retire in the WWE, go and be entertainers, get into movies.
He could be like a Islamic WWE character. Huh.
There is Mustafa Ali.
There is.
Mustafa Ali, right? Yeah, this Colby Covington, he's grew up in Oregon.
Oh wow.
Went to Southern Oregon University and Oregon Institute of Technology, apparently. And but then he went to Arizona State, but his test scores were not up to par, so he went to Iowa Central Community College and won the 2007 165-pound National Junior College Wrestling title as a
Yeah.
true freshman with a 34-0 record.
That's a very good record.
His roommate at the time was future UFC champion John Jones.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, dude, Colby is a beast. He's and his character now, he's MAGA. It's all his character, and he does it. He's like he I don't know, man. Like it's very funny. Like he's like the stuff he said. Like he says, like the greatest president in the history of the world, Trump, así,
Yeah, yeah.
like, and he wears a MAGA hat, to the weigh-ins and everything. Doesn't give a fuck.
And he lives in Miami.
Yeah, with
So
Masvidal. Masvidal hit him. Masvidal hit him and chipped his tooth. He sued him. They got into a real fight, like
a
in
real
Ocean
fight.
Drive,
Oh no. Like
because
they
because he lost because Masvidal beat him. He was sore.
What a life.
Yeah, he's got pictures with Donald Trump.
With Donald Trump.
Yes. And Don
Donald
Jr.
Trump sounds
Yeah.
like a robot. Donald Trump. El Donald Trump 5000.
They sound like a Tron.
Oof,
Donald
man,
Trump
that's great. I'm
5000.
I'm gonna I'm gonna like that would be hilarious.
Be a good character, yeah.
El Donald Trump 5000. And in other news, in Colombia, Donald Trump 5000 has just won the presidency. Imagine. I think that's gonna happen. Like at some point, some impersonator is gonna win
Well,
a
look at
public office.
I
impersonators.
That's already happened.
See,
Look at the
Yeah,
president of
man.
example Bukele.
Look at the president of Ukraine.
Yes.
He's a stand-up comedian slash
Yes.
actor.
Zelensky. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, that
Playing
guy is un payaso, clown,
doing the
Un
right?
role.
payaso.
Sí, ese man es un payasete, weón.
Fire.
Sí, no, what they're doing is so bad. O sea, la verdad, it is embarrassing. I don't know, man. It's very sad. There's a lot of things that are sad there. Very sad. So
How did
much
you die?
war.
It's like snake bite.
And also the US, it's sad because, the US has given me a lot, man. Like, gave me an education and a lot of an education in my profession that's a lot better than what people here will probably ever get to see. And it was so many years ago and still like a lot better. Like I'm still better. I'll be prepared better for life, man. And to see like that money, I don't know, like to see Seattle, some of the stuff I see, the stuff that's happening in New York. I told Nick, it's like sad, man, that they've let it
Yes.
like go get to that point, like because they're sending all those millions in ammunition and all that stuff. And also, I was telling Nick,
Billions.
like here, I told him I like the 500 million they gave us, and who knows if they're ever gonna use that money, Petro's government, you know,
But the U.S. gave Colombia $500 million for what?
for to against narco traffic.
Huh.
To battle narcotraficante colombiano.
Yes, the war on drugs that was.
As dead, well, a long time ago.
Yeah, the war on drugs was started by the U.S. government. The drug war was started by the U.S. government.
Our country suffered a lot because of that. They should have just in Bolivia too, and Peru. They should have just like legalized coke y ya todo bien.
The opium
Teach
wars.
teach people y ya teach people. Tell them, hey, this is bad. Period. Como secret.
Yes, but they're disconnected from their family, from their traditions. They want to be the single source of truth. The hubris, the hubris. So they're disconnected from all those things. Then they don't have a group of
The
people to tell them,
humor.
"Hey, this is kind of fucking. This is screwed up. Like this doesn't make any sense. Why have you abandoned the old ways? Oh, we're new. We're modern. We're progressive. We're on the cutting edge. We don't do it the old way. All those old ways have fallen out of step. You know, this. Look at all these idiots. These idiots that built pyramids in the middle of the South American jungle.
Yeah,
They
they're
didn't even have
ignorant. How did
iPhones.
they,
How did they do that? They didn't even
yeah,
have an iPhone. They
I
don't.
mean the
I
arrogance.
can't believe they didn't even know what the New York Times said yesterday about this book. Idiots.
No, and also like, oh, what do they eat? You know, like, and man, like they had crops and everything.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, bush meat. Oh, that was a tough fall, dude. Imagine just like just going down 40 feet like that and hitting the rock and then like, okay, okay, we're fine. And then like get up and start chopping people. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's take a break. Take a quick break. Put all the bones in my leg back together.
Water.
Water. Just have a little water. I'll be fine. Couple of almonds, handful of almonds. I'm good to go. Get back up that ladder.
And this junk.
The almonds. Pick up the sword.
Yeah. All right. One more time.
Thank you for the quote, Juan.
Yes.
That was a nice segue.
The idea was that it was different, right? I wanted to give you something different.
Yeah. Normally we're like pull something out of
Like the Tao.
the
Tao Te
Tao,
Ching.
or yeah, we've had uh, we've had so many books.
This is so difficult.
The
This
Four
tower.
Agreements.
Get that water.
Well done.
Yeah. Look at the water with the waves. It looks fairly realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, where the highlight blows out, it doesn't look real, but
But because I don't have ray tracing on.
oh
Let's put
yeah,
ray tracing on just so
you
that you see it.
put on your ray tracing or your Carl tracing.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your
Yes,
time.
yes,
Been good
thank
to
you.
hang and watch the gameplay and chat about life.
Yes, well,
Wishing you well in Colombia, Juan. It was nice to spend some time with you and your
Yeah, let's
character.
more often. Yeah, let's do it more often. I'm gonna like be transmitting this game and other games in this.
Right
So I'll
on.
talk to you and you can like we can pick our brains, my brother. Always a pleasure.
yes.
Join us anytime on Wednesdays.
Eso, la buena.
All
All
right,
right,
gentlemen. Have a wonderful evening. You guys feel free to stay on the transmission if you'd like, but I'm gonna attend to some feline
Catio Cat,
duties.
Catio
So,
Cat McCatterson. All
all
right,
right. Have a
we'll
good
see
night,
you, man.
guys. Do
Good
well.
night.